Drama. I know all kinds of drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids. There's the bad kind like season-ending injuries. There's the necessary kind like having an agent in Hollywood. And there's silly drama like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your high school diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org.
Or text diploma to 97779. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. That's diploma to 97779. And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her?
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge?
Got to get this all straightened out. Keep a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve! It's now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend?
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is you over 30 years ago.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
And this is your mom when you drive her back from therapy.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Roles change without us noticing, and in your new role, we help you help. AARP gives you the information to help care for your mom so that you can have patience with her, just like she did with you. Visit aarp.org/caregiving or call 1-877-333-5885 to get practical health and wellness tips to provide even better care for your loved one.
Are we there yet?
Remember, visit aarp.org/caregiving. AARP, we help you help. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
When I was little, I didn't talk for a long time. I liked things to always be the same. Anything new or different would scare and upset me. I was very sensitive to lights and sounds. It was almost like I had bigger eyes and ears than everyone else. So I built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. I didn't like looking people in the eye. It made me feel uncomfortable. I'd throw big tantrums over little things like when my socks didn't match. Sometimes I'd do the same things over and over. Until one day, I found out I had autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I learned how to live with it better.
You can see signs of autism in children as young as 18 months. Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese.
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Of course my kid's in the right car seat. Well, I think he is.
Yeah, my kid's in a booster seat. He was ready to move up. He is ready, right?
Her car seat looks like the right size.
There are probably rules on when to move up to a booster seat, aren't there?
Rear facing, forward facing. I think I have it right.
Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Don't think you know. Know you know. Go to safercar.gov/the right seat.
I know my child's in the right car seat, or else I wouldn't get in the driver's seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college. This is beyond a simple donation. It's the opportunity for America to invest in its kids and take an active stake in the future of the country. The return on your investment isn't money. What you get back is knowing you protected our potential. So one day, that potential can grow up to become surgeons and architects, executives and engineers, people who can change the future just by being a part of it. My name is Alicia, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better. And kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor. Because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
They'll challenge your authority. They'll try to break your will. They'll push you to the edge of your sanity. Because that's what kids do. But this car is your territory, not theirs. Defend it. Who makes the payments? Who cleans it? Who drives it? You do. That's who. And in here, your word is law. So when you say you won't move until everyone's buckled up, you won't budge an inch. Until you hear that click. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. For more information, visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Dan Orlovsky says that Aaron Rodgers trade could be one of the worst trades ever. Patrick Mahomes says he's not underpaid at the quarterback position, and the NFL will change the onside kick rule this season. And much, much more here on a new show of the Sports Line. Doc Rivers is going to have Damian Lillard run very fast out of town. Does he help them win? You're under 500. Aaron Judge helps the Yankees win. You're paying the player $300 million. You better be sure that that guy's going to help you get over the hump. For some reason, this guy is completely lost on calling plays. Maybe he's a therapist. name is Errol Marks, and my co-host, the Speedster, Speedy, Petey, the executive producer, Mr. Aaron Fishman, and our Sports Minute goes to Tommy Scoops. Go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. Check out all our shows throughout the week, including The Loudmouth with me and Speedy Petey every single Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. All you have to do to tune in and check out all our local listings for all our shows is go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. And by the way, you can call our show at 631-672-3108. Speeder, what's up, man?
I had a fun time at that concert on Saturday night.
Birds of Jupiter.
Birds of Jupiter. That would be a good parody version. You could submit that to Weird Al Yankovic. You could probably make that kind of thing work.
Listen, I'm Weird Al's what do they call him? Stunt devil?
Stunt devil?
I was going to say like a spun devil.
Spun devil. That's a good one.
Spun devil. I could spin. I could
yes,
spin on
you
this
can.
chair.
Oh, yeah, you could spin.
My back's killing me, but I don't know.
Well, that wouldn't be a good idea to spin it then.
That's true. I mean, and how was your family? I mean, you hung out with your family this week?
Yeah, they came up on Friday. We did it for my birthday, and we ended up hanging out with my cousin's house. Got a lot of food, a lot of pizza that night, and played.
And I wasn't invited. You never invited me.
You were DJing.
Okay, I'm DJing, so you're not going to invite me after? I mean, I want to be there for the happy birthdays. I want to see the cake. What kind of cake was it? Chocolate cake?
Yes, it was a chocolate ice cream cake.
I'm pissed off now. I'm very pissed off. I am a chocolate cake wonder. I love my chocolate cake. I love the fudge on top of it too. It's delicious. Was it a triple decker?
No.
What kind of chocolate cake?
No, it was a chocolate ice cream cake with some fudge and some chocolate
ice cream. That's a double smack in the face, Speedy. How could you not invite me for a double whammy right there? I had a chance to have chocolate ice cream cake, and you didn't invite me.
Well, I'm not the one that controls all this planning stuff a lot of the time, especially so a lot of it happened last
So you're telling me mom did not invite me? Is that what you're trying to say?
What didn't come up?
It was mom's fault. It's all mom's fault. Miss Suzanne, thank you for not inviting me to Speedy's birthday celebration. I am very upset about it. Did you go skating?
Skating?
Yeah,
I don't know how to skate,
so
that wouldn't help.
So your parents wouldn't take you out skating because you don't know how to skate?
I don't know how to skate.
Well, that's a sad thing. Maybe I need to teach you. Could I teach you how to skate?
You could when it's winter.
Why can't we do it in the summer? There's ice skating rinks all over the place.
Because it's probably slick.
I just want to tell everybody,
slick in the
before
summer.
we get to the show, I want to tell everybody a funny story. I was at the gym a little bit earlier, and I was walking out to my car. I had an opportunity. I met some very nice people. I sat in a whirlpool, those the heated pools, very, very nice. It helped out my body, my muscles, very, very nice people. But I went into the sauna, and then after that, I was walking out, and I was tired. I mean, you sit in a hot sauna for 20 minutes, and then you're over there in a heating pool for about an hour and 15 minutes. I was walking to my car. Now, I have obviously a Chrysler 200S, so I'm walking. It's black. I see it right in my vision. So I'm walking to it and I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh my God, I was robbed. And I'm looking at it. The bumper's falling off. The trunk looked like it was cracked open. And I'm looking at, I open up the car and I'm like, somebody robbed me. And I was like, I'm about to call 911. And I see the guy coming right over there. He was walking towards the car and he says, what are you doing in my car? And I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh, wait a second. I'm looking at the license plate. It's not my car. He starts laughing. I start laughing, and I'm looking for my car because I forgot where I put my car. And he says, you have the same. I haven't seen a car like this in a long time with the same color. I was like, same color, same make, same car. I see my car. I walk to my car. I pull out. He comes around because he thought I was lying, and he smiles at me and says, your car looks better than mine. True story. Now, I'm going to tell you this. It just so happens we were walking out at the same time, and he unlocked his car. So I was walking. He was probably wondering what I was doing in his back seat. I mean, I'm throwing my stuff in the back seat. I'm like, oh, man, I got to call 911. I just got robbed. So that's a true story, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to, obviously, Rich and his beautiful wife for, meeting them. They were fantastic. Great, great, great people. Anyways, we got a lot to get into. At 8:30, we'll be talking to MLBBro.com senior writer. Our friend Kevin Moore will be joining us as today was the trade deadline. So we will get into the trade deadline stuff with him. At 9:30, 9:45, we'll be talking to former Colts, Cowboys, and Broncos fullback If everybody knows who Gronk is, this is his brother. Chris Gronkowski will be joining us for the second time on our show. Fantastic, funny family. Shout out to Rich. And thank you, Rich. And by the way, Mr. Rich Wilson. So fantastic personality, fantastic family, by the way. So why don't we get into it? The first story, and I'm definitely going to lead on this story because it's about the Jets. Dan Orlovsky on First Take said that the Rodgers trade could be potentially the worst trade in NFL history. He also compared it to Russell Wilson's trade and said that the Jets would be wasting talent even better or even more than the Broncos. Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson reportedly had some frustration with each other at training camp the last couple of days. Rodgers was frustrated at Wilson for running the wrong route, and Wilson fired back at him for not being there at mandatory minicamps. Robert Saleh called Garrett Wilson electric, but has to focus on some minor details. Wilson had 95 catches, 1,042 yards, 3 touchdowns last season playing with backup quarterbacks. Now, I know a lot of Jet fans would think that I'm a homer, and I'm never a homer on this show. I am just talking facts. Aaron Rodgers, over the last couple of weeks, has shown up to minicamps. And he wasn't there in the beginning of minicamps, but he has shown up. And he is playing. He looks healthy. He looks strong. He looks bigger. He looks ready to go. Garrett Wilson, he has been there from the beginning. He always shows up. He's one of the first people on the field. He's one of the last people off the field. The problem right now is if Aaron Rodgers is not seeing eye to eye with Garrett Wilson, the Jets are in trouble. They are. They're in trouble. Because if you're going to trust in Mike Williams, this is his first year. He signed a 1-year contract with the New York Jets. Are you going to trust Conklin or any of the tight ends that they have on this team? Are you going to trust any one of these wide receivers, even some of the youngsters that they brought in through the draft? You have to depend on your number one guy. And Garrett Wilson is expected to be the number one guy. And everybody keeps saying about Breece Hall, how good he looks. He looks fantastic. Breece Hall is a running back. He can catch the ball. There's no question that he can. He's very good in the backfield. He could do so many different things, block and everything. The Jets need Garrett Wilson this year. And if they're not seeing eye to eye, we saw it on Hard Knocks last year. They were seeing eye to eye last year. It just doesn't seem like they're mashing. And everybody keeps talking about Davante Adams. Oh, the Jets are going to be the favorites of getting Davante Adams. There's no guarantees that the Raiders are going to be bad this year. If the Raiders start off strong, and by the way, their schedule is fairly easy. It really is. Vegas has a chance to win 8 or 9 games. They could be a borderline wild card team this year. If you're sitting here today, there's no guarantees that Davante Adams is a New York Jet. I'm going to sit here, and as a Jet fan, I'm not going to make excuses. And by the way, Aaron Rodgers needs to start being a leader. And I don't believe, and I'm going to get into the Dan Orlovsky story because I got my own opinion of what he has to say sometimes. Now, there are things that Dan Orlovsky says that I would agree with. This one, I disagree. There are a lot worse trades right now if you look at it. What did the Jets give up? What did the Jets give up? A second-round draft pick?
A conditional second-round draft pick, which the
Aaron
Packers didn't even use this year.
For Aaron Rodgers, okay? So I'll get into that in just 1 second. I'm going to tell you guys this. The New York Jets, for the first time in a very long time, since 2010, 2011, have an X on their back. Every team is looking forward to playing the Jets. As everybody's predicting, and the PPR leagues believe that this is one of the top 5 defenses in the league. Some people think top 2 defenses in the league. When you look at Aaron Rodgers and the weapons that the Jets added this offseason and the offensive line help that they added with Smith and Morgan Moses and the talent that they have on that offensive line, they're expected to be a high-flying offense this season. Now, you look at Miami, who just signed Tua, and we'll get into that too because we didn't have that on our display. But I'm telling you right now, I'll get into some of the quarterbacks that have signed over the last couple of weeks.
Which all connects with the Mahomes thing.
Absolutely, and we will get into the Mahomes thing as well. I sit here and I wonder, is Robert Saleh the guy for this job? Robert Saleh coming out and saying that he's electric and saying that he needs to focus on minor details only tells you that he's on Aaron Rodgers' side. And if I was Garrett Wilson, I wouldn't be happy that my coach is getting in between me and Aaron Rodgers. I'm the best offensive option you have right now on this roster, and Aaron Rodgers needs me just as much as I need him. Why would you bring it? Now, Aaron Rodgers doesn't have any right to open his mouth. He really doesn't. Aaron Rodgers played, 4 plays last year? 4 plays? And then he was out for the season with an Achilles injury. How many plays are we going to see Aaron Rodgers have this year before he gets hurt again? And we're going to be just really discussing it and depending on Tyrod Taylor. If you're a Jet fan, you can't sit here and love what's going on right now. Hassan Reddick sitting out, not wanting to play until he gets his new contract. Everybody telling and talking about the New York Jets all over social media, saying that, hey, this guy looks good, but this guy, he just doesn't look right now in mini camps or at the camp. I would worry if I was the New York Jets. I would worry right now if I was Joe Douglas. Because if you're a New York Jet fan, you have depended on this Aaron Rodgers trade for the last 2 seasons. You're going into year 2. And you don't even know what kind of Aaron Rodgers you're going to get this year. Even if he stays healthy. Is he the same Aaron Rodgers that left Green Bay 2 years ago? We don't know what he is. We don't know if Father Time is going to hit him. We've seen this before. We've seen this with Tom Brady. It happened to Tom Brady at 45. Will it happen? I know Aaron Rodgers is doing the TB12 right now, the diet. What does that mean? Does that mean he is Tom Brady? Tom Brady is a unique individual. I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers, in my point of view, isn't better than Tom Brady at the top of his game, because I've always thought that he was. But Tom Brady won all those championships, and Aaron Rodgers is still looking for championship number 2. If I was Garrett Wilson right now, I'm not happy. And if I see this to keep on going the way it is, if this is a failure of a year once again, if I was Garrett Wilson, he's going into what? His 3rd year?
It's the 3rd year this year.
His 3rd year. He's going to want a big contract. You know what I would do if I was Garrett Wilson? At the end of the season, I want to be traded. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to play with Aaron. I don't want to play with this coach. Because the truth is, where the Jets are, they have such a mountain to climb to be that elite team in the AFC. And Rich, I see what you're posting, and we're definitely going to read off all the stuff that everybody is saying. But I can't sit here today and be happy with what I'm hearing right now. I love Jermaine Johnson. I love the way he looks. He looks like he put on 25 pounds of muscle in the offseason. When you put on that kind of muscle, what usually happens? You get injured quicker. CJ Mosley looks really, really fast. I've seen him in a couple of practice plays and stuff like that on social media. He looks good. Is he going to be healthy? CJ Mosley is 34 years old, 33 years old. He's at the tail end of his career. He wanted to be a Jet. He wants to stay a Jet. He wants to win a championship with the Jets. There's a lot of pressure on this New York Jet team. There's a lot. And if I was running this team, this organization, I'd be pulling right now Robert Saleh on the side. You're the players coach. You were all about taking receipts last year. Maybe you need to open up your pockets and start bringing in these players, not as, up-and-coming stars, but stars already, and try to sit down and have a conversation with them and tell them, listen, we got to see eye to eye here. If we're not working together this year, this isn't going to work. Because it hasn't. Nathaniel Hackett has 3 other coaches calling plays, not just him. If you're hearing that from Robert Saleh, that would be distinctly concerning if I was a New York Jet. If I was a Jet offensive player, if I was the offensive line wondering who's calling the plays in my headset. It's confusing. I don't understand it. Now, with Dan Orlovsky saying that this Rodgers trade is the worst and could go down as one of the worst trades in NFL history, you cannot compare this to the Russell Wilson trade. Russell Wilson, you gave up 2 first-round draft picks for Russell Wilson.
And a third and another player.
Russell Wilson didn't take less money. They had to pay him more. After they signed him, after they traded for him, they had to sign him and give him that long-term deal, which didn't work. They had to give him his own office, which players didn't like. He didn't get along with the defense. He barely got along with his own offense. Aaron Rodgers is loved. Still, even if he's arguing with Garrett Wilson, every single player respects him. Everybody loves him. Russell Wilson's on his second team in what, 2.5 years? And you look at the Broncos right now, are they in a better position than the New York Jets? That trade set the Broncos back for 5 years.
The Broncos aren't even better than the Giants.
5 years. They're still trying to figure out what they did wrong with that trade. If this doesn't work with the Jets, they still drafted a quarterback. They have a quarterback sitting on the bench. They still had Tyrod Taylor. They still have an elite defense. What does the Broncos have? A picnic? I mean, seriously, I'm not going to sit here. I love Sean Payton. But, Dan, what are you talking about? No wonder why you played for the Lions practically your whole career and never got a chance to start.
Not only that, the 0-16 Lions.
Seriously. I mean, you're a great analyst. I love you on ESPN. I mean, what are you trying to sell to me here? You're trying to sell to me that you're just trying to put fannies in the seats? I know what you're trying to do. Have more people following you on Twitter or X, whatever the hell you call it, on Instagram. If that's what sells to you, if that's what you're trying to sell to us, by golly, keep doing it.
The Broncos maybe besides the Patriots, the worst team in the AFC. And the Patriots had a better offseason than the Broncos did.
I'm not going to sit here and even remotely try to attack what Dan Orlovsky said, because that's just ridiculous. There are a lot worse trades. The Jamal Adams trade was worse than the Aaron Rodgers trade. Look what the Jets got for Jamal Adams.
Think about the Robert Griffin, the third trade that Washington at the time made in that draft. They gave 4 first-round picks.
Worst
and all those
trade?
drafts. The Rams accumulated a whole defense with that, including the great Aaron Donald.
Worst trade ever? What are you, nuts? How about the Jalen Ramsey trade?
Mm-hmm.
What did the... I mean, seriously. Look at that trade. How many first-round draft picks did the Rams give up to get him?
Mm-hmm. How about the going back to the 80s, the Herschel Walker trade to the Vikings, where the Cowboys accumulated a bunch of Hall of Famers?
I think the Rams just got their first-round draft pick in, what, 4 years, 3 years?
Uh-huh.
Because of that Ramsey trade. And he's not even on the team anymore.
Yeah, the combination
he's on Miami.
The Ramsey trade plus Jared Goff plus not Jared Goff plus Brandon Cooks plus all these other players. They had 7 years worth in a row of not having first-round picks. Jared Goff in 2016 was the last one they had.
I'm not going to sit here and say that Dan Orlovsky doesn't, it doesn't draw me in. And if you're a Jet fan and if you work for ESPN, you love Dan Orlovsky. Why? Because he's drawing you to all the bull crap that's going to come out of his mouth. We do this all the time. All these analysts are trying to find something to talk about right now. There's nothing to talk about. There's baseball. There's the Olympics. That's it. Football is right around the corner. Preseason and obviously the Hall of Fame is probably, a week away? Good. Nobody cares about preseason. That's why the NFL is trying to banish it. That's the truth. So everybody's trying to find a story. Hey, let's talk about Aaron Rodgers. That's the story. How many times does he have to smoke to get high? I mean, seriously. Hey, what is he drinking? Hey, what was he drinking? Hennessy this weekend? Hey, what club was he going at? Was he, was he getting jerked off in the back room? I mean, seriously, why are we talking about this? This is not a story. This is ridiculous. This is rubbish. My favorite word, English word, rubbish, stupidity. It's dumb. But you know what? I'm going to tell you this. All the Jet fans are sitting here loving it. I know that ownership and Woody Johnson and Chris Johnson, they're loving it. Why? Because the Jets are a center of attention. Instead of talking about the Giants and that crap on Hard Knocks, when it's all about Joe Shane, we're talking about Aaron Rodgers. We're talking about Dan Orlovsky. We're talking about Garrett Wilson calling this guy and that guy an ass.
We're talking about Robert Saleh getting criticized as maybe the second or third worst head coach in the NFL, which maybe he is.
As a fan, and by the way, August 8th is right around the corner, Rich. Yeah, it's right around the corner. But we're what? July 29th today? July 30th?
July 30th, right?
July 30th, that's a week away. We're a week away from preseason. Who cares? Does anybody care? I mean, we're not going to see starters. We'll see starters, first 2 plays of the game?
Right.
We won't see the starters for 1 quarter until the last preseason game. And there'll probably be more injuries in those first 2 games because they're walking off the field and they stub their toe. I'm not going to sit here and just complain about everything about the New York Jets, but it is kind of silly. But this is what the press does. If you want to talk about the Boy Green show or Jake Gasman show or any of these guys, they're trying to find something to talk about with the New York Jets. Why? Because there's nothing to talk about. Nothing. I'm going to tell you what I'll do. I'm going to tell you what I do. I'm going to do this tomorrow. I am going to go out after work, and I'm going to stand on the side of the road. I'm going to have a sign saying, Aaron Rodgers, what are you doing this weekend? People can take pictures of me on Nichols Road in my underwear. How do you think about that, Speedy? You think I should do that? Weird. What do you mean weird? I mean, this is weird. So Dan Orlovsky saying this is the worst trade in NFL history.
No, that's just dumb. There's a difference.
I mean, so why can't I be weird? Why can't I stand on Nichols Road?
I mean, you're shameless. It's fine. I'm not going to present an opinion of that.
Anybody's shameless. I mean, I'm wondering if Rich would do that, Mr. Rich Wilson. I think he'd do that.
If Rich wants to comment, if he wants to be involved.
I mean, we could stand on both sides of the corners, you know?
All right,
Rich,
if you want to get Rich to do that, go ahead.
I mean, he's going to have to, he's going to have to wear a different Speedo. I mean, seriously. I'm going to wear your Speedo, Speedy.
I don't have a Speedo.
I've made a Speedo for you.
I don't have a Speedo.
I've made a Speedo with your face on my garage. Just so you know.
That's your own problem.
So, by the way, look what Rich said. It will get media attention. Go for it. I think
it'll get media attention.
I think it would. I think it would draw a lot of fans. And by the way, the Jet fans will take pictures of it. They could post me on their posters when the season starts, when Aaron Rodgers is throwing the football in Zach Wilson's ass.
Oh yeah, that'd be one way to do it. If Zach Wilson even is not on the practice squad at that point.
We haven't heard anything with Zach Wilson.
Apparently, he's losing like the quarterback battles everywhere.
The only thing we've heard about Zach Wilson this offseason is he's getting married.
Oh yeah,
but probably to his mother's best friend. I'm kidding.
Well, who knows at this point?
I'm just kidding. He's dating a young woman. Looks pretty. It looks ready to go. He's looking ready.
Apparently,
he's growing his hair out. He's going to look like an Ewok soon.
Yeah, apparently try to drown out all the noise. I guess the one his eventual fiance said, "Oh no, we'll be fine in terms of getting married anyway."
It's definitely a thought, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, could you imagine? Could you imagine Zach Wilson grow his hair like he's one of those hicks, or what do they call him? What are those guys that smoke marijuana and they have parties? What do they call them? In the olden days, in the 70s.
I don't know. That sounds like a Kenny question.
What is that? Oh, not potheads. What do they call them? Hippies. That's what he is. He's going to be a hippie. That's what Zach Wilson's going to be. He's going to be a hippie.
Oh, good. He'll fit right in with Kenny. He'll be his new favorite quarterback.
Before you know it, he's as pretty as his girlfriend, He'll be like two girls marrying each other.
Oh, yeah.
It would be great.
That'd be quite a wedding ceremony.
Yeah, it would.
You could stream it live.
She'll be his center.
Follow you standing on the street corner
She'll be his
naked.
center, or maybe she'll be his giver. What do you think, Speedy?
I'm not going to present an opinion on that either.
We can hook him up with one of your famous tools.
I don't have a famous tool.
Well,
I don't have a famous tool.
We do.
I am not involved. Maybe Rich will do it. Maybe Rich can hook him up with some famous tools.
Well, I don't know if Rich knows what you're talking about. He's a new fan. How does he know what kind of tools?
Well, he's encouraging you to stand on the corner in your underwear.
Well, I'm going to do it. I said I was going to do it. I will do it. I've lived up to my words.
Yeah.
Did I not put Ben Gay on my balls?
You did.
I broke a disturbing person. I am a disturbing person.
Yeah, no. You suffered through that when nobody else.
Oh, boy, did I ever! 10 minutes of just horror, man. And a lot of showers, by the way. 9 showers that night and 8 showers the next day. Boy, oh boy, my testicles were a little hot, Speedy. Not hot for you. It was hot for the Ben.
It has nothing to do with me.
I mean, you were watching.
It's your.
Did you not see my face when I was?
I saw your
purple?
face. I didn't want to see you
below
that.
I mean, I love that show, by the way. All that. Remember that?
I said below that.
I'm just saying. But Dan Orlovsky, just his craziness coming out of his mouth. But here's the thing with the New York Jets. This is the good thing about the New York Jets that we have not spoke about. The good thing right now for the New York Jets is there's no injuries. That's the best part of it. There is no injuries to be reported right now for the New York Jets. So a round of applause for the New York Jets.
Maybe the Jets should just transfer the practice turf over to MetLife Stadium.
There you go. I mean, they're playing on grass, or maybe they're playing on ultra turf.
Whatever they're using, transfer it to MetLife Stadium because it clearly works better than the MetLife Stadium turf.
No, that's true. I mean, honestly, with the New York Jets, I wouldn't put it past them. I wouldn't put it past the New York Jets. So, but that's a good sign. There's no injuries. And Mike Williams has looked good pretty much at practice. He's looked good.
Which, yeah, that's always been his career trajectory, Mike Williams. Like, he's
good at practice and not good in regular games?
Ultra productive when he's healthy. So I'm not surprised at that kind of thing. Like, his consistency in full seasons have to be better, but he does very well in a lot of advanced metrics when it comes to these smaller samples when he is healthy. Like, per game numbers or per drive numbers are very good for Mike Williams. And Aaron Rodgers has always done well with a lot of bigger bodied receivers when he was in Green Bay. So Mike Williams, if he is somehow able to stay healthy this year, expect a very productive season as a number 2 wide receiver. Again, he's lost, at least with all the injuries, he's lost some speed, so he's never going to be what he was as a draft prospect, but he's still very productive as a receiver. And for a big bodied receiver, a good route runner as well. So Aaron Rodgers, getting him involved in this training camp so far, definitely going to be helpful. Then you got the running back room, which has been expanding, the tight end room that's been expanding as well. And it's a matter of the offensive line if they can get these new additions to work.
And again, if you're a Jet fan, you should be excited. But I mean, after hearing all these stories by Dan Orlovsky, I obviously he's trying to sell you that this could be a really bad season for the New York Jets. As a matter of fact, there are people that have come out and said that the Jets would be lucky to win 9 games this year. They won 7 games last year with backup quarterbacks. Right. Who would think in their wildest dreams with Aaron Rodgers and with this talent, and by the way, probably the most talented team the Jets have ever had, for them to win 9 games? It would be a catastrophe. Now, I think the worst the Jets could have is a 10-win season, and that still would make the playoffs. They will make the playoffs with 10 wins. But where would they seed? Are they winning the division with 10 wins? That's the question. And with Tua Tagovailoa getting his $200 million contract, I mean, honestly, you sit here today, and a lot of people, including yours truly, would have never thought that Tua was going to get $50 million a year. No. Nobody.
And like, it just depends on what the Bills and the Dolphins, like both of them lost so much on defense, but if they can get any of those draft picks or these new defensive coordinators like Miami has to get it to work, I mean, those offenses can be very lethal. And the Jets are priding themselves on the defense with a lot of new offensive pieces. So there's still a lot of unknowns with this team. And that's where I think a lot of these critics are going after the Jets because it's an easy target. Between Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, like taking shots at both of them is just easy attention for the national media. But in this case, like, yeah, it's like Dan Orlovsky looks really bad for saying that when the Jets gave up nothing for Aaron Rodgers to do that. They essentially had to trade Elijah Moore to Cleveland. They got a draft pick back. Then they just traded that pick along with the conditional pick. Like,
worst trade in NFL history.
Yeah,
Thank you.
They didn't have to give up multiple first-round picks. Nevertheless, one first-round pick just on its own. And again, the first-round pick didn't become that because Aaron Rodgers got hurt.
Was he smoking before this episode?
I don't know.
Maybe weekend, or this morning.
Maybe he decided to. Maybe
what is he smoking?
Maybe he decided to try ayahuasca.
I mean, maybe he's hanging out with Aaron.
Yeah,
in his back. Well, maybe there you go. Maybe he's sniffing lines. Maybe he's doing something else.
Definitely couldn't rule that out with that kind of take. You're just not knowing the worst trades in NFL history.
Could you imagine sniffing lines with Aaron Rodgers? I mean, that would be cool. Could you imagine that? Let's go to the field. Let's go to the field. I mean, him and Lawrence Taylor. Oh my God. Let's go. Come on. Then Lawrence Taylor. You know what, Aaron? Yeah, just hand me the ball. I'm going to run it. I'm going to run it. I'm going to run it. You know?
Oh, by the way, I forgot about the actual worst trade in NFL history that happened 2 years ago. Dan, you forgot about the Browns trading for Deshaun Watson, giving up 3 first-round picks and paying him fully guaranteed money. Did you forget about that one?
Yeah, Xavier Gibson is he's not hurt. If the season were to start, Rich, he'd be ready for the season. He's right now. It's day to day. It's not really a bad injury. He's fine. I was reading about Xavier Gibson. It's nothing like he tore anything. So
no overreaction central.
No, I think he's going to be fine. I'm talking about major injuries for the New York Jets.
Yeah, because I know the Rams lost a corner already to a torn ACL. I think the Vikings lost a corner to a torn ACL.
Yeah.
So it's nothing like that.
No, Xavier Gibson right now has I think if I'm not mistaken, it was his hamstring. So
yeah, that's not bad.
I think he'll be back. I'm not really worried about him. Nothing major, but no. Patrick Mahomes told USA Today that he doesn't feel like he is being underpaid, even with all those new quarterback contracts. Both Tua and Jordan Love got new contracts on Friday, and Love became the highest paid quarterback in NFL history. Tua's contract is 4 years and $212 million, while Love's is 4 years, $220 million. While Mahomes is only making $45 million per year. Oh, only $45 million per year. Oh my God, I have a heart attack. His total cash payment through 2027 season is the highest in the NFL. Fox Sports' Chris Broussard says that Mahomes should be the highest paid athlete in any sport. Fox Sports, Nick Wright, oh, we love Nick, says that these new contracts make Jerry Jones and the Cowboys look bad and thinks only CeeDee Lamb will get paid. Dak is expected to get about $60 million per year on his next contract. First of all, if any of these guys, Tua and Jordan Love, get these contracts, Dak deserves 60. Dak last year was runner-up for the MVP. If you look at his last 5 years, how many quarterbacks right now in the NFL has better numbers than Dak Prescott? Honestly, how many? Now, obviously, he doesn't win in the playoffs, but who does? How many champions, how many different champions have we had in the last 10 years? Not many.
Not many, because I think 7 out of the 10 last Super Bowls have been won by Mahomes or Brady.
I mean, honestly, if I was Patrick Mahomes, I'm not going to be upset. You know why? Because I'm playing in Kansas City. I have a chance to have a three-peat, which I'll be the first quarterback to ever do that. I'm getting all these endorsements from Subway and all these other companies that are working with me right now. I don't care about what I'm making because my next contract, which he's already had 2 different contracts, my next contract is probably going to pay me $1 billion. Patrick Mahomes is 28, 29 years old. His contract, when it ends, it is probably going to be restructured in the next 2 or 3 years. He's going to make about $70 million, $75 million a year. You think Patrick Mahomes cares about? He knows how good he is. He knows he's the best quarterback right now in the NFL. And he knows as long as Andy Reid is his coach, he's going to have the chance to win whenever he is there. I'm going to sit here today and I'm going to tell you the truth about this. Everybody, Nick Wright, Chris Broussard, they love Patrick Mahomes. Who doesn't love Patrick Mahomes? I mean, hey, him and his wife, they own a soccer team. They're, he doesn't have his own cereal like the Kelceys, but hey, he's got something else. Maybe he has his own marijuana named after him. The Mahomes baby or something like that. That would be cool. I'd go buy it.
He'll probably get his own.
I don't know if I'll smoke it. I might be smoking his hair or something. Could you imagine that?
Yeah, that's definitely possible.
That'd be a nice little,
They'll bring back all the memes. They'll bring back all the memes when Odell had that hair.
I mean, that would be cool. I think that would be.
He'll probably get his own ketchup deal with how much ketchup he likes to put on steak.
I like ketchup too, but I'm not going to put it on my steak. I like barbecue sauce on my steak. Yeah. Ooh, yummy. I mean, could you imagine marijuana in your barbecue sauce?
I'm sure Kenny's done it before.
I mean, that would be something. I mean, whatever the ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca and barbecue
in my barbecue sauce. Oh man, I'd be really, I'd be imagining that a beaver is sitting right next to me and I'm talking to him right now. I mean, maybe talking to the flies flying in my face or the mosquitoes biting the hell out of me. I mean, seriously, I wouldn't even feel it.
Patrick Mahomes should have a barbecue deal. He's in Kansas City.
Oh, well, that's true, too.
But he's going to probably get a ketchup deal because he likes to drench his steak in ketchup for whatever reason.
I mean, if you look at Patrick Mahomes right now, Patrick Mahomes shouldn't be worried about where he is going when it comes to his contract. He is going to make his money. He is going to make probably the most money any quarterback has ever made in NFL history by the time he's done with his career. He's got a tremendous career in front of him. It's not like Tua. Tua screws up on this contract. He's never going to get another contract like that. He's never going to get a second big contract. And Jordan Love, the clock is ticking, buddy. Yep. I mean, you're not Aaron Rodgers. We don't know what you are. You needed that. And the Green Bay Packers knew this was going to happen. If he was going to have his rookie, his first full season as a rookie, really, because even though he's been in the NFL for 3 years, this was his rookie year. He played so well in the second half. They had to extend him because then he would have sit out, and then he would have missed the preseason. He would have missed the workouts. They need him ready for the season, especially when they're expecting this young offense to really roll through him. Honestly, Chris Broussard and Nick Wright are a bunch of idiots. I'm going to tell you why. Nick Wright, who, by the way, thinks that LeBron James is the greatest basketball player ever to play the game, better than Michael Jordan by far, he says, and trying to compare Mahomes to, I don't know, Jerry Jones and the Cowboys looking bad. That is ridiculous. Why is it? First of all, we all know Jerry Jones has made problems and made mistakes with the contracts. And we all know CeeDee Lamb is going to get his contract no matter what. But if Jerry Jones doesn't sign Dak Prescott before CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott is going to be a free agent next year. And there will be teams lined up for him. Not only is he going to make 60, he might even make 70. Because if he puts up, like Rich, our friend Rich puts it up right over here, 4,516 yards and 36 touchdowns or 37 touchdowns this coming year. Dak Prescott ladies and gentlemen, is going to make at least $65 million. So right now, if I were the Cowboys, I would hold back on the CeeDee Lamb because CeeDee Lamb still has another year left. I would franchise CeeDee Lamb, and then I would extend him and give him his long-term deal. I would give Dak Prescott the money that he wants because you have nothing. You're going to trust Trey Lance? You're going to trust Trey Lance?
He would.
I know he would. I mean, he would trust anybody. I mean, so would even our friend Nathan. He probably trusts Trey Lance too.
Oh, I'm sure he could trust Trey Lance over him naming the quarterbacks in this draft.
I mean, don't put him down. Why you throw him to the wolves, man? Why would you hurt his feelings?
I don't know. Nathan presented himself with an easy
By
target.
the way, Mike Tyson has edibles, by the way. It's an ear, by the way. Has anybody
Oh,
seen it?
God, really?
Yeah, it's
good.
It's pretty cool, actually. Go check out Mike Tyson's edibles. It's a Holyfield ear, by the way. It's pretty funny.
That is funny.
Yeah, it is. But to look at the Tua and Jordan Love, yeah, there it is. The Jordan Love contract, I mean, they had to reach. Miami had to give Tua that contract because then you're telling Tua that you don't trust him, you don't believe in him, and then you're going into next season wondering if Tua is going to say, you know what, if you franchise me, I'm sitting out, and you're going to have to trade me. Give him the contract. He had a great season. Was he a top 5 quarterback? No, but he was a top 10 quarterback. And maybe he finds a way to produce. Now, does he have a good arm? No. But he's one of the more accurate quarterbacks in the league. And if he stays in the pocket the way he did last year, he will stay concussion-free. He only ran in the play. I think the first running play I saw him have last year was in the playoffs. He did not run outside of the pocket, and he needs to continue doing that because he needs to make sure that he stays healthy this year because who's their backup? Oh, I know who's backup is. An ex-Jet.
Yep. Jets legend Mike White.
There you go. You're going to trust Mike White to win your, the AFC East. And right now it's 2 teams deep. And I love Josh Allen, but Buffalo's not winning anything this year. Buffalo lost all their secondary. They lost their wide receivers. Gabe Davis is gone. Big Mouth is gone. I mean, they're starting with new wide receivers that don't know this offense. Their secondary is all new, young guys in addition. I just, if you're right now, Buffalo's right now the 3rd best team in this division. It's the Jets, Miami, Buffalo, New England. I wouldn't be surprised if New England has a good season this year. I wouldn't. And you know why? Because nobody's expecting them to have a good season. There's no Bill Belichick. You have a rookie coach. You don't hear Robert Kraft this offseason. Maybe he's losing another ring to, another dictator. I don't know. Maybe he was, finger fisting somebody and he lost it there. I don't know. I mean, he was really upset, during, that, what was it?
The roast.
That roast about his ring. He brought up his ring.
Yeah.
He wanted, what was his name again? The Russian guy, the dictator?
Putin.
To give back his ring because he ran off with his ring.
Yeah, Vladimir Putin clearly has that in his mind where he's a corrupt, you don't know what.
I mean, we're all corrupt in many different ways.
Not that way.
Patrick Mahomes being unpaid is not corruption. It's just, he's a guy that believes in his team and his organization. He knows he's going to make a lot of money.
Well, yeah, there's Patrick Mahomes getting the money he is for the next 4 years only still shows that I think between the career earnings that he's going to have with that deal, and like you said, all the advertising deals, he still has time to get that money later. Like that's why, yeah, okay, maybe you can say, oh, I'm not underpaid for that kind of thing, but it's the same thing Brady did. He took a bunch of pay cuts, and the Chiefs were able to keep Kelsey, re-extend him, keep Chris Jones when we thought maybe he was going to leave or get franchised, and that situation was going to be hard. And the Chiefs will do the same thing to Mahomes when that time comes. They're going to give him another 3-4 year deal. That's big bulk.
And there's so many new options for the NFL to make extra money. And with the new TV deals that they're bringing in, look at the NBA, the $11 billion media thing that they just signed. What was it? No, I'm sorry, $72 billion. I'm sorry. That was the WNBA that signed the $11 billion. This is what, $72 billion for the next 11 years or next 10 years for the NBA. The NFL is going to get more when their new TV deals go up in the next year or two. They just signed a new contract with Prime. I'm expecting them to bring in about $50 billion. I mean, in 11 years, there's a ton of money for the NFL to bring in. And right now, with the 18th game that the NFL wants to add, that is probably a year away from happening. I expect that to happen in the next year.
Yep.
And as far as we'll get into the onside kick situation because now the NFL is trying to move with that. I mean, that's ridiculous too. But I just think that you look at the situation with the quarterbacks. These quarterbacks are going to get paid. It's the hardest position right now in professional sports to play. Besides, I believe, a pitcher, and I believe a goaltender. I think those are the three hardest positions in professional sports, except golf, if you want to bring up golf, but that's a single man's game. I'm talking about
a position.
I'm talking about a team game.
Yeah.
I think those are the three hardest positions to play. And there's a lot of pressure on you because if you're not pitching right, your team's done. If you're not goaltending right, or you're not standing on your head in the playoffs, you're going to lose. And if your quarterback isn't playing well in a big game, or at least making passes that he needs to make in certain fourth quarter options and stuff like that, you're not going to win as well.
No, it's very hard, especially with a lot of these quarterbacks that are getting paid now with the inexperience. And we've seen that kind of thing backfire quickly in this new era where the quarterbacks have to make all this money. The Rams traded Jared Goff because after he got paid, he started to have turnover.
Oh, man.
issues.
By the way, I want to say something. I don't know if anybody watched the wide receiver thing. I'm going to go back to this with Netflix. I know Fish was watching it. And I know everybody, if you guys didn't tune in to wide receivers, go check it out on Netflix. It's a great documentary, just like the quarterback documentary the year before with Mahomes and Kirk Cousins. It was fantastic. I'm going to say this. Jared Goff deserves an apology from the Rams. The Rams should apologize. I know the Rams wanted to win a Super Bowl. They won with Matthew Stafford. But what Jared Goff is doing right now, and I hated Jared Goff.
I know.
I hated Jared Goff. I take back anything I said to this kid. The balls that this guy had to go against his team in the playoffs and knock off the team that he took to the Super Bowl and lost against New England. By the way, did not have a good game. Either did Tom Brady.
No.
It was a battle of obviously the best offense we've seen in a very long time in the Rams against one of the better defenses. The defense beat the better offense, but they couldn't score either.
Nope. And the Patriots have always done well against smaller wide receivers, which was all the Rams had.
Jared Goff deserves an apology because everything that we've seen Jared Goff do over the last couple of years has been miraculous. And I like Jared Goff now. I like his persona, everything about him, his personality, calm and collective. He had no vendetta on the Rams when I was watching that. Even though St. Brown said that, we're going to win this for him.
Sure.
We already know that he wants to win it. And he was so happy because the players were speaking more up about it than he was. He just said, I just want to bring home a W. Right. I want to go to a Super Bowl. I want to win a Super Bowl. He didn't care at any points of those episodes when they were talking about the playoffs on him knocking off the Rams or meeting the Rams in the playoffs when there was a possibility that was going to happen.
Yeah, and that's going to be the storylines that's always going to be linked against each other especially when the Rams just won a Super Bowl as well. And they're playing in week 1 again this year, too. So those storylines are going to continue. But Jared Goff's contract is one example of that kind of thing not backfiring. Same draft as well. Carson Wentz, the same big contract with the Eagles, and then they trade him 2 years later. They end up getting a first-round pick, which nobody expected at the time. But that kind of contract.
That was a terrible trade, too.
Yeah.
I know they wanted to win a Super Bowl, but look what they gave up for Matthew Stafford. I'm not saying Matthew Stafford isn't a good quarterback, but he's at the tail end of his career. They did it practically. Was it worth the Super Bowl? Yeah, but it was a terrible trade.
Yeah, they're an odd trajectory.
Terrible.
Like the Rams, it seems like they do some things very well, but they do it unconventionally too. It's a good team culture. It's a good system.
Talk about terrible trades. I know it's about winning Super Bowls, and they probably do it again if they can win another Super Bowl. I understand that. It still looked at not such a great trade. Look how many first-round draft picks they had to give up for him. They give up like 4 picks and a good player that they had to give up that sent to the line. Sent to the Lions.
Yeah, and I think the way the Lions drafted it, especially the last 3 years, it made that trade look even worse. That again, more showed the positivity of the Lions too. But the quarterback contracts in general are the ones that you have to really look at and say it's going to be hard.
If the Rams win a Super Bowl this coming year, or they're again in the NFC title game or in the Super Bowl, and they win, I mean, that trade looks even worse because then the Rams just won their Super Bowl and the Lions just won a Super Bowl a couple years later. And they still have they still got a bunch of draft stock for them and they have their future. It's all set up. They can win multiple championships. So it looks really, really bad. Now, right now, it's all about championship and it's 1-0. But the Lions are looked at as the team to beat in the NFC. They're arguably the best team in the NFC. They needed to add secondary help. They did that.
Keith says, I always liked Goff. I never understood why so many people didn't. That was a great trade for both teams. Rams won the Super Bowl, which is so hard to do. Yeah, I think Errol and I are referring to like the process. Like the Lions have a process that is going to be sustainable for a while, and the Rams did it in a way that's very unconventional. But they've made it work. I mean, you have to hit on late round draft picks, which they did. They 4th round picks, 3 picks. They made it work to fill out the rest of their defense, and they just paid the stars, and they made it work. Now they could trust that process still going further. They made the playoffs last year when not a lot of people expected them to.
No,
but still, it's a different process. The Lions are
went to the NFC title game.
Yeah, the Lions are building a different way, where they're building in the more modern model of the draft, like getting all those draft picks the same way you've seen a lot of these teams do before. Keith says it was a great trade for both teams. Yes, I think what Errol's saying is there's potential for the Lions to still triumphantly win bigger on the trade if they win multiple.
When you go back and you try to compare trades in the future, if Jared Goff wins 2 Super Bowls and the Rams only get 1 with Matthew Stafford, it's not a good trade. Because you're talking right now, you have Dan Orlovsky coming out and saying that this Aaron Rodgers trade could be the worst trade in NFL history, when they got that 2nd round draft pick that they traded with the Browns, trading Elijah Moore. They gave that pick away. What did they give up for Aaron Rodgers?
Right.
It's nothing.
So they essentially traded Elijah Moore and a 5th round pick, and that pick became conditional, the one they traded in the deal, and that conditional 2nd round pick. And yes, we believe the Lions will get there too. Yes, because they built up a really good roster with a lot of good draft picks, and those types of trades come in. So the total quality of the trades can still be judged as the Lions winning it a lot more if they're able to win multiple Super Bowls, or even if they win 1 and still have like sustained playoff success like the Rams are having now.
Yeah, and again, you look at the Jared Goff situation. Jared Goff is a quarterback that is still up and coming. He's 29, 30 years old, just got an extension this offseason again. This is a guy that has a chance to really stamp his name. And I remember when Carson Wentz was traded that draft, I thought Carson Wentz was going to be much better than Jared Goff. Carson Wentz had a chance to win MVP, tears his ACL 3 games before the season was over. It went to Tom Brady. Tom Brady went all the way to the Super Bowl and lost in the Super Bowl. Wasn't it fitting against the Philadelphia Eagles, and it wasn't Carson Wentz, it was Foles. Okay, so it all comes back. It all comes back as a combination. Jared Goff has a chance right now with the team that he has set up right now with the Lions, where they can really stamp their name for the future of the NFL and for the future of where this organization could be, compared to from the Rams to the Cowboys, to the Eagles, to all those NFC, San Francisco 49ers.
And that's the upside of not doing what I was mentioning before, when you're paying a quarterback with still a lot of unknowns. And that's what happened with a lot of these other like 2nd-tier quarterback contracts at the time. Now, Jared Goff, I think, was probably in that top 13 or so range. And I think that's where you're seeing Tua and Jordan Love, just with the unknowns of it. Now, Tua, I think, when healthy, is capable of being a top 10. We'll see on Jordan Love. Definitely the 2nd half, he was the best quarterback.
Brick Fishing. I'd like to know Fish's opinion with the whole Mahomes thing, the Broussard thing, Nick Wright. I mean, obviously, everything that's going on right now with these conversations has been, and even the Jets. Your thoughts, Fish?
Hey guys, as far as this Mahomes thing, we were just talking not so long ago about Daniel Jones getting paid $40 million a season, and Mahomes is making less than $10 million a year more than him. And it's hard to look at a guy that's as good as Mahomes and say he's not underpaid. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever why that would be the case. So, guys, you guys seem a little frozen. Can you hear me?
Oh, we hear you. We hear you.
All right, good. I'm sorry. Sorry, everybody. New computer, just working out the kinks right now. As far as Mahomes, look, he's the best there is. He makes plays that no one else can make. So why wouldn't he get paid the most? Well, he signed the contract a few years ago when he was paid the most that way. But the way the NFL has exploded, it's out of control. So that's the thing that with the Daniel Jones contract too. Right now, if you look at it, he's paid, I think, 16th most of all quarterbacks. So after 2 years, he's now paid like an average quarterback. And guess what most people think he is? An average quarterback. So it is weird, the all economics of the NFL exploding like this. Mahomes is going to get some kind of reworking of the deal in the future if he wants it, or he could do the old Jalen Brunson and just take less so the team can be great for a number of years. We'll see what happens.
I just want to say, Rich Wilson says Aaron Rodgers last year made $9 million, a little bit over $9 million in his contracts on all 4 snaps. Every single snap, he made $9 million. So
Yeah,
for 4 snaps, he made what was it, 30-something $million?
37.8 or something.
I mean, good for Aaron. Good for him. Screw him, Woody Johnson and Chris Johnson. Good job.
Oh yeah, voices of reason. Woody Johnson and Chris Johnson.
Fantastic. I'm loving it. Oh man, the New York.
Don't you think Rodgers, guys? Don't you think Rodgers is just playing these games because it's all off of what he did when he was younger, and he tore his Achilles, and everyone thinks he's going to be this great quarterback because he's this Hall of Fame resume. He has more talent in his little pinky than half of the quarterbacks the Jets have put out there in the last couple of decades. But he just tore his Achilles, and guys don't come back from that, let alone at 40 years old, historically. Now, it wasn't that long ago, before the surgeries got better, I guess, that this was a career ender, like an absolute career ender. We know Kobe was never the same after he tore his Achilles, and that was about a decade ago.
But it wasn't his arm. Now, Aaron Rodgers didn't injure his arm. It is his Achilles, but that's different.
But what's
When
he
you're
the best
jumping-
at? You know, like he's a great on-the-run quarterback.
Yeah, he rolls out, but you can roll out and make the throw. He's one of the most accurate quarterbacks we've ever seen, if not the most accurate quarterback of all time. He didn't throw out his arm. He didn't hurt his collarbone again. I'm not going to say that Aaron Rodgers is not going to have a good season. I've watched him. I've watched some of the practices. I've seen some of his throws. He still has. He still has, what do they call it? Zip on it. He still has zip on his balls. I hope he has zip on his balls. We'll have to ask his girlfriend. But you know what I'm saying. But he still has zip. He still has the opportunity to put out those numbers again this year. I expect the Jets to be elite this year. And if they're not, Aaron Rodgers is gone next year. Robert Saleh is gone next year. Joe Douglas is gone. Nathaniel Hackett and Garrett Wilson, and so is Sauce gone. I think this whole team is going to be completely gone next year because they're going to be rebuilding again. It's crazy. It's really, really crazy, the talent that they have there. But we've seen this before. We've seen this in the Rex Ryan years. Remember those back-to-back AFC title games? They were very talented teams. Very talented. They had one of them. They had Tony Richardson on that. We had Tony on the show. I've interviewed Tony.
Eric Coleman's boy.
Yeah, we've had Tony, and Tony even said it. He's like, "Oh, that was one of the best teams I ever played for." Yeah. Too bad you couldn't get over the hump. Too bad you couldn't beat Indianapolis the first year, and then couldn't beat the Steelers the next year. That's because your defense opened their mouths. Can't wait, Mr. Bart Scott on ESPN.
Oh yeah,
or whatever he is, and coming out and saying what he said and throwing the Jets under the bus.
Yep.
This is the problem with the Jets. They love to open their mouths. Aaron Rodgers on Hard Knocks. I say whatever you want. Aaron did not want to be on Hard Knocks, but you saw it on Hard Knocks. As soon as anybody that's on Hard Knocks usually has a bad year. It's like a hex. It's just like bad news.
Yeah.
Bad news.
You mentioned before, like the Jets always like to put a target in their back for no reason. And we've seen teams still do that and win Super Bowls, but not the Jets.
There's no question. But
I don't know how the season is going to go, but it wouldn't surprise me if they have a great season or they're god-awful and Rodgers laughs himself out of the league by the end of the season. I think there's very little in between for this team. He either can make the plays, because look, he's wearing that red jersey and they're not hitting him or chasing him right now. It's going to be a very different thing when he has to throw the ball on the run and knows he's going to get hit. Right now, he knows he's not going to get hit. In fact, he got hit once and threw a little hissy fit in practice. They showed it because he got hit. Oh, you can't hit me. Well, look, if you are trying to step into your throws, you got to do that knowing there's going to be pressure. It's never been done before this offseason where not one but two quarterbacks have been entrusted with the future of franchise of the team with this much on them, giving them this much money with him and Kirk Cousins. Obviously he was given it money the year before but didn't play. With a torn Achilles coming back from it. I don't think that's ever happened for especially older quarterbacks. It's pretty remarkable. It could go belly up for both of those teams really easily.
I think Kirk Cousins has a lot to prove. I don't think it's going to belly up for Kirk Cousins. I still think Kirk Cousins to make those throws. And I think people forget how good Kirk Cousins is. Now, people forget how good Aaron Rodgers is too. I mean, if these players believe in Aaron Rodgers like I believe they are, and they do, I think that he could have a good season. They have to protect him. That offensive line is going to have to protect him this year if they have any chance of winning. And this Devontae Adams thing, stop with this stuff. I don't want to hear it anymore. Until it happens, I don't want to hear it. Because for all the Jet fans to think that, hey, Devontae Adams is going to be a Jet before Halloween, like everybody else is saying. There's no guarantees to that. He is still a Raider. And if the Raiders continue to win and they win and Antonio Pierce gets this team to play like they did in the second half, he's going nowhere. So stop with this Devontae Adams thing. Why don't you get Garrett Wilson on track? Because that would bother me right now when you're hearing the stories that Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers are yelling at each other on a football field.
I forgot to mention before, it is also funny that Robert Saleh brought up the idea of Garrett Wilson lacking minor details. Well, you lack minor details in your coaching too.
Mm-hmm.
Look, Wilson is one of these guys who's a playmaker. He has had to deal with quarterbacks that haven't even paid attention to details since he's been in the league. So it's really interesting to see a guy like Aaron Rodgers come back, and I remember they showed him on Hard Knocks last year. There was some tight end trying out for the team that didn't make it, that scored a touchdown in the preseason, that he ran the wrong route. And you just see him in like the videos. He's like, ran the wrong route, gets touchdown. Hey, ran the wrong route, gets touchdown, like he hated that. But then Garrett Wilson comes back with an epic comeback. He goes, well, you should have been here in the offseason to when we working on this stuff so we weren't sloppy. And that's where this fight came from that kind of started this news where it led to Orlovsky commenting on it and now us talking about it. It's just wild that he thinks he can come in somewhere because, he's been in the league forever, has the accolades, but he didn't do the work in the offseason. Let's be real. He didn't. He was out, in the darkness with the peyote or the ayahuasca and trying to have fun and clear his head.
Oh, man, I would love to see him.
The new mascot for the New York Jets.
Coyote. I mean, that's pretty cool. You see Aaron Rodgers coming out on a coyote. Woo! Get us into that Alaska.
Maybe they out at the Joshua tree, listen to U2 rocking out
Pearl
over there.
Jam, baby. Pearl Jam.
Maybe they need the Jets Lions Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers live coyote versus Dan Campbell's live lion. Who will prevail?
I think Lions will take out Coyotes for sure.
Yes, they would. No, for judging football teams based on the mascots that they are, that'd be a whole different discussion than the talent base of any team.
All right, why don't we go to a quick break? When we come back, a lot more football to get into. Keyshawn Johnson says some interesting things about the United States team and Paul Pierce. Very, very interesting. And the onside kick rule, a new onside kick rule we'll get into when we come back. But first, our Sports Minute with Tommy Scoops.
This is the Sports Loudmouth Sports Minute.
Are you ready to get loud?
With Tommy Scoops.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. It is the top of the hour with Tommy Scoops bringing you guys the Loudmouth Sports Minute. And jumping straight into some NFL, the Bears announced that they are inking star wide receiver DJ Moore to a 4-year deal worth $110 million. The deal is the largest in franchise history, and it's giving Moore $82 million guaranteed and will keep him under contract until 2029. Other NFL news, Patriots linebacker Matthew Judon was absent from team's facility today as the veteran linebacker was seen having an animated discussion with head coach Jared Mayo in yesterday's practice, was nowhere to be found today in team's practice. However, it is unclear if Judon was chose to stay away or if the team was issued an agreement. Lastly, over in the NBA, the Raptors unveil a new throwback Dino logo for the upcoming season. The team will be donning a Dino logo most famous for the 90s Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady era to celebrate the team's 30-year anniversary. Jumping straight into Scoops' scores right now over in the MLB, the Phillies have a 4-1 lead over the Yankees at the top of the fifth, while the Orioles have a 5-1 lead over the Blue Jays heading into the bottom of the fifth. Over at the bottom of the fourth as well, Marlins have a 2-1 lead over the Rays, while the Reds have a 5-0 lead over the Cubs in the bottom of the third. The Mets have a 1-0 lead over the Twins in the bottom of the fourth, while the Red Sox have a 3-1 lead over the Mariners at the top of the fourth. And right now, the Rangers and Cardinals are currently in a rain delay at the top of the first with 0 points on the board. That is currently all the time I have for you guys right now. I'm kicking it back to the boys for the continuation of the Sports Loudmouth.
This is the Sports Loudmouth.
Willie Whopper, Speedy! Willie Whopper! Spank it.
Like what? Want to go burn a bush in a trap? Yeah. Or jizz. It's really strong. That was years ago.
631-672-3108. Our soundboard. Yes. Tommy Scoops with our soundboard, our Sports Minute. Go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. Check out all our shows throughout the week, including the Loudmouth with me and Speedy Petey every single Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. All you have to do to tune in and check out all our shows and all our local listings for our shows is go to our website at www.undisputed.com. www.worldwidesportsradio.com. I just want to give a shout out to Miller's Ale House. I'll be sitting down with them this weekend. We're going to be doing live shows probably in the very near future. We're going to be doing Thursday Night Football, maybe a couple nights every other week on Thursday Night Football over there. We're going to be doing our show live and Sunday Night Football. So we're working on some things. So we'll let you guys know where you can come in and watch our show live. It'll be fun. Well, you guys will, girls will have a chance to win some things. We'll do some giveaways. It'll be fun. Trivia, have some fun with Speedy, right, Speedy? Speedy after dark in front of people.
Oh,
what
God, no. That's not happening.
What do you think the kids would do to you?
I have no idea, and I don't want to know.
Let's not. It's not something I think about.
Honestly, could you imagine Speedy in front of these kids and me just dropping down lines and he's looking out there, he's like, I don't know. And the kids know more than he does. The NFL expanded to a new kickoff rule that also included banning of surprise onside kicks. The rule states that the kicking team must go to the referee before a hand and announce they are going to do an onside kick. The rule also states teams can only do an onside kick when they are trailing in the fourth quarter. Onside kicks are not subjected to the new kickoff rule changes, which forced the returning team to catch the ball between their goal line and the 20-yard line. Bill Belichick said on the Pat McAfee show that it is disappointing to see the surprise onside kick go. The Jaguars were the last team to pull off a surprise onside kick 2 years ago, versus Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, man. There's a lot. There's a lot to get into this on. And I know the NFL is trying to make the game more fun to watch and less surprising, less chances for concussions or injuries, because these onside kicks, these surprise onside kicks could cause concussions and problems, brain injuries or whatever, knee injuries, because they love to dive, or they love to dive after the ball, and these kickers, they love to put spin on the ball, backspin on the ball. The NFL's got to stop this. These new rules and these additional rules that they're trying to do, it ruins the game. It ruins the speed of the game, the fun part of the game. The fourth quarter has always been so open to watching, these onside kicks, these great things that these coaches could call during the game, where we'll throw the other coach off, or throw, Bill Belichick's been known to throw people off with some of the rules and finding, different things in the rule books that it doesn't say that it's illegal, that he would have found ways to making it work. Now you can't do that. Now you can't surprise teams. There is no surprise here. And that's, to me, it takes away the fun part of the game. Quarterbacks are all about, making, these tough passes. Coaches are all about making these tough play calls, especially in the playoffs, which could cost a team a Super Bowl, or cost a team a playoff win, or win them a Super Bowl. If you remember, in the Super Bowl against the Patriots, what play stands out more than anything? Speedy, do you remember when the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Patriots?
It was the non-quarterback pass, Trey Burton and Nick Foles.
That's right. That play stood out from all the plays. And that was one of the best offensive games we've ever seen any quarterback have. Yeah. Tom Brady threw 500 yards. It was the best playoff game he's ever had. He lost. And Nick Foles threw over 350 yards and won the MVP. Where's Nick Foles now? Coaching high school football.
He'll be on Andy Reid's staff at some point.
Eventually. I mean, you look at this situation, and the NFL has to, and Pat McAfee, I agree with Bill Belichick, by the way. This ruins the game. This is disappointing to the game because, Roger Goodell for the last couple of years is trying to find ways to make the game more fun, more offense. There's enough offense in this game. There is enough. You can't put your hands on the wide receivers. You could barely put your hands on the quarterback. I mean, offensive linemen, depending on the offensive line, if they're complaining to the referee, they're throwing flags. The defense has no opportunity to do the things that they do well in certain games. The defense, look what happened against the Jets, against Kansas City. I was on a cruise and I watched that game.
Oh, yeah. You were going to throw something at the TV.
Throw something. I wanted to throw something at TV. I wanted to do something else, but I'm not going to tell anybody on national radio. But I wanted to do something else. But I mean, the boat was shaking how mad I was. I was completely mad. That was actually Zach Wilson's best game as a quarterback. Honestly, that game and against the Texans was the two games that actually stood out to me. And they lost. They did beat the Texans, but
yeah, the Texans don't get the Taylor Swift referees on their side.
I mean, the rule states that the kicking team must go to the referee before handing or announcing that they're going to be doing. How does that takes away this surprise? You're pretty much getting ready for an onside kick. How the hell are you going to complete that? So why are they kicking onside kick? You might as well try to kick a field goal. Yeah, I'll kick a 65, 70-yard field goal. I have a better chance of doing that than an onside kick.
That's what the Ravens wanted to do. They wanted John Harbaugh and Justin Tucker were saying you should I
have a better chance.
Let the field goal kickers kick it off the tee into the field goal. You get a point.
If you're telling the other team that you're kicking an onside kick, what is the surprise from it? How does this benefit the team that's kicking the onside kick? It's supposed to benefit the onside kicking team.
Mm-hmm. I was curious more, even with this new kickoff rule, if they would try more pooch kicks as well, where I know you have to kick it to a certain range.
Did you say pooch kicks?
Pooch.
Oh, I was
pooch kicks.
I was about to say, what the hell are you talking about?
You try to get it to that 20-yard line
kicks.
thing on the bounce and try to throw off the returners that way and make it harder for those blocking schemes as it is. And it's going to be even harder with the onside kicks, which I think there were only 4 recovered in the NFL last year as it was, which is going to make it even harder to do it now when you do know it's coming. And anything that isn't cheating and can be a form of decision is right on that kind of thing. Like, why you're going to ban a certain offensive play call because of injury history or something like that?
The only reason why Bill Belichick has something to say now is because he's not coaching in the league right now. And he might be back next year either with the Dallas Cowboys or somebody else. So obviously he doesn't have to walk into this absolute catastrophe. But the NFL is going, this isn't going to work. And there's going to be a lot of coaches and a lot of people, a lot of players complaining about this by the end of the season. And just like what was that rule with the Rams? Because the Rams got
they changed. You could challenge pass interference.
This is going to change after this year. They're going to find a way that this is not going to work. And this is another catastrophe call by Roger Goodell. And it just tells you how stupid Roger Goodell. Why don't you, whatever he was drinking or whatever the hell he was popping during the draft, keep doing that, man. I mean, I don't want to hear any more changes in the game. This is just ruining the game. And Speedy, as far as your cooch kicks, that would be a nice, interesting play. I mean, seriously, cooch kick. And yet people are looking around. What the hell's a cooch kick?
Maybe Roger Goodell is smoking with Dan Orlovsky at the draft.
Daniel definitely is thinking about cooch kicks.
I had to ask you, Speedy. You said that Bill Belichick loves deception. I mean, I couldn't believe it. You know, this is a guy that wants to deceive the other team and the NFL. No way. I'd never even heard of this. I love special teams.
Yeah, you're right.
I love special teams.
Now that I come to think of it, he does seem very clean cuts. I mean, we had the Steelers accusing them of the headset gates and the beginning of the season, which meant nothing. Yeah, that sounds like something.
I've got the perfect name.
No coach could pull that off like Bill Belichick.
Perfect name.
Maybe Robert Saleh would.
I've got the perfect name, as Speedy said, Coochgate. That's what we're going to call it. It's Coochgate. What do you think, Speedy?
I didn't say that, but okay.
You did. You said cooch.
I said pooch. You just hear what you want to hear sometimes. I call you the king of wishful thinking. You might be just the king of wishful hearing at this point. You try to drive on an agenda that you don't present.
Speedy, you're not the one that's telling me to bend over, are you?
I don't know where you're hearing these things. Should we get your headphones checked again?
Look, the cooch kick is going to be a thing because they can't kick it that far. So they're going to have to loft it in the air or it's a touchback. So you're going to see, but they have to get it 20 yards. So it's not like it's going to be unexpected like the pooch kick or the cooch kick is supposed to be, because it's a deception thing. Now, I love special teams, guys. I've coached special teams for a number of years at the high school level. One of the greatest, probably the best play call I ever did as a coach was a special teams play, because I saw that on a surprise onside kick, because I saw them on film on Monday for a Friday game being too far off the ball in the middle, and we just did the old kick it to ourselves, except I had two gunners come and lay out the guy that was going to get it and have the kicker retrieve the ball, which you can kind of get away with in high school, not really in the other leagues. But it's something that makes the game fun. And what that we did, we were able to get a touchdown and then get the ball right back, take care of the whole clock. Now, I showed you the video of the most famous onside kick, which was the Saints in the Super Bowl when they beat Peyton Manning. Now, that game was pretty close until Peyton threw that pick six to Tracy Porter at the end of the game. If they don't have that onside kick, Peyton's playing from in front, and it's a very different ball game because Peyton Manning was great playing in front. So I really think it's an important part of the game, and I'm really sad to see it go because for personal experience with it, and that I know you can really change the outcome of a game through coaching and through effort. And that's why, you know, this is a great thing, not to mention the entertainment level.
Blue 32. Coach kick. Coach kick. What do you think, Speedy?
Sounds like a list of Deshaun Watson's audibles. By the way, the worst trade in NFL history, Dan Orlovsky. Why don't you go check on the Browns before you bash the Jets on that one? And I love defending the Browns for everything else they've done recently, except for that. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one.
Oh, man, Speedy. Deshaun Watson. It looks like a Deshaun Watson call. Oh, man. Hey, listen, Deshaun likes those hand jobs, right?
I can tell.
Would you hang out with Deshaun?
No, I wouldn't.
Would you throw a football with Deshaun?
No, I wouldn't.
If he grabbed the football and he was throwing it, would you throw it too?
No.
Why?
I don't know what's on there.
He doesn't know what's on there. I'm sorry, Fish. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember what we were talking about after that.
All right, so in that case, we'll read Keith's comments. The only thing Phil is coaching is how his 23-year-old girlfriend. Oh, don't say anything about that. Maybe Robert.
Hey,
Kraft will
Speedy
get
After Dark is later, guys.
no, this is Keith. This is Keith After Dark. Don't try to put me into this.
Hey, listen. I mean, Bill Belichick knows how to handle it. I mean, 23 years old. I mean, did you see that girl? I mean, seriously. We should have done a story about that. I mean, who's the Mac Daddy of them all? Hey, it's Bill Belichick, a 68, 70-year-old man dating a 23-year-old that looks like his daughter. I mean, that's his daughter's best friend. Oh, what is he saying? What is Tom saying over here? Has Speedy ever been to the zoo before?
A while ago. I was in probably 5th grade.
You like the zoo, Speedy?
I like it. I just haven't been there.
What's your favorite part of the zoo?
I don't know. I haven't been there since I
But
was
what
in
was your
5th
favorite part of the
grade.
zoo when you went?
I don't remember.
You don't like a certain animal? What kind of animal do you like?
I like pretty much all of them that weren't.
What's your favorite animal?
My favorite animal?
Don't you have a favorite animal? Don't bring up a dog because there's no dogs there.
I know there's no dogs at a zoo.
Maybe a ding dong.
No, there's no ding dongs at a zoo either.
No ding dongs?
Oh, you know what? Actually,
okay.
I'll show you. I'll mention one thing that was cool. Oh no, that wasn't at a zoo. That was at an aquarium, but it was kind of cool. It was an albino. It was an albino manatee I saw there. That was actually
What?
kind of
An albino
man. Oh no, never mind. I said it correctly.
I'm sorry.
No, an albino alligator. That's what it was.
Oh, there it is. A white alligator?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm not even kidding. An aquarium.
Did you want to pet that alligator?
No.
Why? What's wrong with petting an alligator?
I'm not taking the chance.
Why not?
Why? Why not?
Why?
Common sense.
Common sense to what? Maybe
it's an aggressive creature.
Tommy, that's a drop. You got to find that one immediately. That's an aggressive creature.
Keyshawn Johnson said on Undisputed that Paul Pierce in his prime would have had the same impact as Kevin Durant did in joining the Warriors in 2017. Durant fired back at Keyshawn on Twitter saying that the Jets, I can't wait for this, would have been better off with Jonathan Ogden, Ray Lewis, Marvin Harrison, or Eddie George instead of him. Brian Dawkins, Zach Thomas, and Terrell Owens were the 3 other Hall of Famers from that draft that the Jets passed on. KD also mentioned how much the Warriors needed him, especially in 2019 when he got hurt in the NBA Finals versus the Raptors. Paul Pierce averaged 19.7 points per game in his career, while Durant has averaged 27.3 with better efficiency stats. Okay. First of all, Keyshawn Johnson, I have to give him a lot of credit. Keyshawn Johnson has been trying to find a job since he was fired from ESPN. Fox brings him in. Now, obviously, Skip Bayless is leaving. Now they bring in Keyshawn, Lil Wayne. Who else is there over there?
Richard Sherman.
Richard Sherman. I mean, what a cast, man. What a cast. I'm serious. They should hire me being the host of that show. But for Keyshawn Johnson, and I think he's right about this, by the way. I think Paul Pierce was a better playoff player than Kevin Durant was. And Kevin Durant, he couldn't win. Kevin Durant couldn't win until he went to Golden State. Paul Pierce, he didn't win a championship, but they had a pretty good team with Antoine Walker. They were a pretty good team. The Celtics were a playoff contending team every year with Antoine Walker and Paul Pierce. And Paul Pierce was a young player at that time. He really developed. And there was a reason why they called him the truth, because when it came down to the playoffs, he was a completely different player. Kevin Durant, yes, he's one of the best offensive players, one of the best long offensive players we've ever seen in the NBA. A guy that could shoot a three. I mean, he has a 7'3" wingspan. I mean, the guy is unbelievable. The things that he does on a basketball court is fantastic. What did he do for the Phoenix Suns last year? Where were the Phoenix Suns last year with their so-called talent?
They're
as
great
good?
big three.
Now, if Paul Pierce was the same age as Kevin Durant, and Paul Pierce was 35, 36 at the time that he was still a pretty good player on the Celtics, I think Paul Pierce would have done more for those Phoenix Suns than Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's problem is he's too busy on social media. He's too busy on who he's dating, what he's dating. Honestly, and then obviously Kevin Durant attacking Keyshawn Johnson about, Jonathan Ogden and Ray Lewis and Marvin Harrison and Eddie George. He's absolutely right. I would have taken any one of those guys over Keyshawn Johnson. Keyshawn Johnson was the number one pick in that draft. Number one. It should have been Peyton Manning, but Peyton Manning decided, hey, you know what? I want to go play my senior year because Daddy didn't want me to play for the Jets. That's the truth. Because Peyton Manning would have been a Jet, and maybe the Jets win a Super Bowl. Maybe the Jets have 2 Super Bowls if Peyton Manning stayed with the New York Jets. No, but you know what happens? Hey, you know what happens? Peyton Manning decided to play one more year in the NCAA with Tennessee. I think that this is a funny story, and I'm going to tell you why it's a funny story. Because Keyshawn Johnson's trying to find his way as an analyst, and he's trying to nitpick with Kevin Durant. And why is Kevin Durant watching that terrible show? Seriously. Why is Kevin Durant watching that show? Now, Keith, you say Keyshawn's a moron. Is he wrong? Is he? Paul Pierce was a better playoff player than Kevin Durant. Say whatever you want. Two-way player. I mean, there's not many guys that you can pick in the last 20 years that was better than Paul Pierce. That's the facts. Even those 3-point shots that he made. Okay. And yes, I do believe if Paul Pierce was between 30 and 33 when actually, I think if I'm not mistaken, Kevin Durant was like 31 or 30 when he played on that Golden State team. Mm-hmm. If Paul Pierce was 30 years old, he does just as much for that team as Kevin Durant. He's a shutdown defender on the perimeter. He is. And maybe Paul Pierce never got hurt. He was always healthy. He fought injury after injury. Kevin Durant, he pulls a toenail. He's out for the week. He's out for the month. Paul Pierce played injured. He was always playing injured. And what is he saying? What is Keith saying? Cast of clowns. KD is still awesome. Nobody's saying that he isn't. And yes, Paul Pierce won 1 championship. The Eastern Conference was much better at that time. It was much better. It was. Stop it. Keith, stop. Stop it.
It's also, besides that 1 year.
When Kevin Durant won with Golden State, who did they have to go through? Who did they have to beat? They didn't beat anybody. There was nobody good in the Western Conference.
They beat a fragile Rockets team. I think they beat the Jazz the round before. They were a new team. Like,
who did they beat? Beal hurt the Suns?
Oh, yeah, of course he did.
Kevin Durant hurt the Suns.
Okay, so
trading away all those pieces. Trading, I don't know, Mikal Bridges, who the Knicks traded for 4 first-round draft picks, who are probably going to be late 20s, early 30 picks. Okay, they traded away Mikal Bridges and Johnson and all those draft picks, which, by the way, one of those picks could be a top 5 pick next year because the Suns are going to suck. Okay, and by the way, what is Rich saying over here?
I'm trying to see Rich's. I don't see Rich's.
The last time Kevin Durant played 70-plus games, was in 23-24 season with Phoenix and in 2018-2019 season with the Golden State Warriors. And his stats were pretty much the same. So I don't really see that he's gotten better. Facts, okay? And the Phillies bullpen is kind of gassed. Thank you, Tom.
Well, they just traded for Carlos Estevez. That could help.
Well, they were gassed right now against the Yankees.
Well, yeah.
The Yankees are playing right now. And shout out to Tom.
Chisholm hit another homer. Again, like 3 homers since they traded for him.
Brian Cashman, baby, making the moves at the trade deadline. And you were just saying, oh, the Yankees didn't do anything. Come on, Fish. Come on, Fish. Hey, wake up.
Well, they didn't do anything that was expected. We'll get to that. But we also got a comment here from Keith that Keyshawn Johnson was slow AF. Now, I appreciate you putting my initials into your comment, Keith. But Keyshawn absolutely was slow. And that maybe not when they drafted him, but
Keyshawn Johnson was
ankle
a pretty
injuries
good player.
and stuff.
And by the way, Keyshawn Johnson won a Super Bowl. He won a Super Bowl, and he wasn't playing with the flashlight, Wayne Corbett, when he did it. Just so
he had more success later on as a number 2 receiver, as more of a possession guy. He was really great in that role. He was miscast as a number 1 guy, as a speed guy. He just didn't have that after his youth, which is why you don't take a receiver that high. But again, that's kind of how it goes. And you saw that those listed names. I actually cut highlights for him. I should have put them up. Jonathan Ogden, arguably the best left tackle, one of the best 3 left tackles.
He's the best ever.
Jonathan arguably Ogden, and they had Yanda on that line with him for a little while. Those are 2 of the best linemen of all time together. I mean, that's why that team was so talented. It was crazy how good their line was. And to pass up, like Marvin Harrison was in that draft. Terrell Owens was in that draft. If that's the case, trade down from number 1. You got a lot of choices over there, But then
Zach
again,
Thomas? Speedy loves Zach Thomas, right, Speedy?
No, but
you kiss his picture every night. You have a pillow of him.
No,
you have
I
a pillow on your bed.
No, I don't.
You don't like Zach?
I like him. That doesn't mean I have a pillow.
Do you
of
find
him.
him attractive? Do you like Zach?
It doesn't matter.
Did you find him
I didn't have a pillow of him.
Did you find him attractive?
I didn't have a pillow.
Did you find him attractive?
It doesn't matter.
I'm just asking you.
He's middle ground. It doesn't matter.
He's middle ground. I love that.
Keith says that was the Suns' stupidity. Yes, and we've talked about that too, Keith. With they were kind of behind the curve
middle ground
when it comes to the process of trying to build these veteran big threes is a concept that now, and Fish, you referred to this too. We were talking about some of these NBA contracts recently. The salary cap new restrictions have made it very hard for an extent possible for a team to do that now with what the Warriors did with Kevin Durant and what the Nets attempted to do and the Suns attempted to do with all that. That's why the Suns had to trade DeAndre Ayton and Chris Paul as a result of trying to do that. And as a result, they had no size, they had no defense, and they had no pure point guard to be able to move the ball and space the floor. And yes, Keith Beal was awful. He was always injury prone. Durant's always hurt. Now, he played well in the regular season when he was healthy, but not like well enough where it's not going to elevate.
Durant is washed up. Are you watching him on his USA team? He's washed up. I don't care. And I want to hear it from the USA fans over there saying that he scored 20 points like LeBron James did. That team is washed up. I don't even want to get into comparing them to the Dream Team. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And who said that recently?
Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce said the same thing. I'm not even going to get into that because Paul
You liked him last week, now you hate him again.
No, because he's right. He was right about what he said last week. He's wrong about what he's saying about the Dream Team. It's ridiculous. This team's not even going to win a gold. I'm going to tell you that right now. They're not even going to win the gold. So, anyways, going back to this. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Sorry, Phil.
Yeah. No, it's all good. Look, Durant, and Rich said that, the stats were the same for Durant this year and in 18-19 with Golden State, but those are offensive stats. His defense has dropped significantly since those years because of, again, as we said before, an Achilles injury where you just can't come back the same way as the same athlete. We saw with Klay Thompson with the Achilles and the ACL. He was great because he was able to move. I think Keyshawn, we're kind of skipping over the point. Keyshawn basically saying, you had a replacement level or slightly above average forward instead of Kevin Durant. That team probably wins the championship anyway. They had Harrison Barnes the year before and won. And Harrison Barnes, when he was younger, was, above average, small forward, power forward type. And you put Kevin Durant in there and they become like the legendary team. However, It's not like they weren't good enough to win the whole thing. And I think that's the point. Paul Pierce is still one of the top 50 players of all time, arguably, right? He's definitely above replacement level. They probably would have won with Paul Pierce too. I think that's a very logical thing to say. I also think what KD said, that there were a lot of other guys that should have been taken ahead of Keyshawn, is absolutely true too.
They're both
got a lot
very,
to say.
very true. I mean, the argument is fair. Both of their arguments are very, very fair. But again, who cares? First of all, Keyshawn's retired, and we don't know what he would have been. And he did win a Super Bowl, and Paul Pierce won a championship too. They both had a chance to win. So Kevin Durant did win multiple championships. He did. But he also, rode up, Steph Curry's jockstrap, Klay Thompson's jockstrap, and Draymond Green's whatever he has. I mean, he loves to show it on Snapchat. So, hey, if he wants to show his ding dong, Speedy, you've seen it, right?
No, I haven't.
You didn't take a picture?
I will never watch. I don't have I don't watch Snapchats anyway. Never.
You didn't see his ding dong?
No.
I mean, it was interesting.
Okay.
Should I send you the picture?
No.
Okay. I would just. It would be interesting if you had a chance to watch it.
No, it won't.
Why? What's wrong with it?
I'm not watching anything with Draymond Green. I don't have Snapchat for a reason, and I'm definitely not watching Draymond Green and his nonsense.
So you don't want to see his ding dong?
No.
All right. I'm just asking you. Have you ever heard it as called as a ding dong?
Yes, from you and only you.
Well, it's good. It's good. It's just sharing is caring,
All right, tell that to Draymond Green if you ever meet him. I have nothing to do with that.
Can I see your ding dong? What the hell's a ding dong?
I will never say that ever. So
I'll pull out ding dongs out of my pocket.
I will never say that ever. So
you want to share your ding dong?
Don't even get any ideas with that.
Have you ever had a ding dong?
I have no idea, and I don't care.
You've never had a ding dong before?
I have no idea, and I don't care.
Well, they're good. They got
okay, whatever.
They got cream in the middle.
Okay, whatever.
You like cream?
Depends on what type.
I'm just asking you if you like ding dongs.
I don't care.
All right, I like ding dongs.
Okay.
Can we share one?
No.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to share one with you. You don't want to share anything?
No.
You didn't invite me for your cake.
Eat your own food.
Eat your own food. Oh man, eat my own food. Look how mean he is to me. I am hurt. By the way, what is he writing? What is Keith saying?
Keith's saying the team isn't washed up. They will win the gold. Not as good as the dream team, but they will win the gold.
They're not winning the gold. They're not. My prediction: they're not winning the gold. And listen, you might be right, Keith. I just don't think they're good. I think there have a bunch of players that they're washed up, and you have a bunch of young players that are not seeing the ball enough. You see LeBron touch the ball too much. You're seeing Kevin Durant touch the ball too much. You're seeing Steph Curry touch the ball too much. Where are the young guys like Anthony Edwards? I don't know. Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, those guys. That's what I want to see. I want to see the guys, the up-and-coming guys. What was it?
1.5 million, Keith?
Oh, that's a lot of money, Keith. Speedy,
I don't know about that. LeBron's been doing this bully ball thing during the Olympics so far. It's like he's playing that. He's really embracing the Olympic power forward role that, you can't really get away with as much in the NBA because people will body him. He's just muscling people and getting layups. And that's how they've won some of these games where they were outplayed for a decent portion of the game. I don't know if that's going to work when they get to the medal round. You're going to have to go against Wemby. They did it against Jokic's team because Jokic's team isn't any good besides him. And they were able to take him out of it. But I don't know. It doesn't look like a very cohesive team. Curry's been off the whole time. They didn't even play Tatum, and we'll talk about some of that stuff later. Get into it a little bit more when we talk about the Olympics. But it doesn't look anything like a dream team. It just looks like, at least it's better than that team that lost to Argentina. But I'll tell you, it's definitely not what we want.
Well, what should we call it? The Charlie Sheen team? What do you think, Speedy?
Sheen team.
The Sheen
Tiger
team.
blood.
Charlie Sheen team. We'll call it the Sheen team. The Sheen team, Speedy. What do you like it? You like Charlie Sheen?
He's fine, but what is? I don't know how it relates to that, but okay.
Just think about it. Anyways, when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we will be talking to MLBBro.com senior writer, our friend Kevin Moore. But first, Tommy Scoops with our Sports Minute.
This is the Sports Loudmouth Sports Minute.
Are you ready to get loud?
with Tommy Scoops.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody knows it is time for the Loudmouth Sports Minute with Tommy Scoops. And jumping straight into the NFL, 49ers QB Brock Purdy said he is focused on 2024 season and not contract extension. Purdy, who is in line for a big payday, said he has a chip on his shoulder and is only focusing one day at a time to get his team back to the Super Bowl. Other NFL news, Arthur Blank said that the Falcons made a few procedural mistakes in tampering case. After the team was hit with a hefty fines as well as forfeiting a draft pick for Kirk Cousins tampering, Blank said that the NFL stated that Falcons did not cross every T and dot every I. Blank also stated that there were certain things out of place the way that they handled it, but has addressed them internally. Lastly, Cowboys star wide receiver CeeDee Lamb is likely to get his new contract very soon. Cowboys, who have been in contract discussions with Lamb, along with QB Dak Prescott and linebacker Marco Parsons, team is likely to give huge deal to lock up team's top wide receiver for years to come. And jumping into Scoops' scores right now, as in the bottom of the sixth inning of the MLB, the Phillies have a 4-2 lead over the Yankees right now. Orioles with a 6-1 lead over the Blue Jays at the top of the seventh. The bottom of the sixth, the Marlins have a 3-2 lead over the Rays. The Reds with a 5-0 lead over the Cubs at the bottom of the fifth. While in the bottom of the sixth, the Mets have a 2-0 lead over the Twins. At the top of the fifth right now, the Mariners have a 7-3 lead over the Red Sox, with the Rangers and Cardinals tied at 1 apiece at the top of the second, with the Braves and Brewers also tied up with 0 points at the top of the third. That is currently all the time I have for you guys right now. Kicking it back to the boys for our next guest on the Sports Loudmouth.
This is the Sports Loudmouth.
No, I would rush him behind. You said smother. You smother. Let's not. 99% of the world would too.
631-672-3108 is the number to call. You're listening to the Sports Loudmouth. I'm your host, Aaron Marks, my co-host, Speedy. Petey, go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. Check out all our shows throughout the week, including the Loudmouth with me and Speedy Petey every single Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. All you have to do to tune in and check out all our local listings for all our shows is go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. Before we introduce our first guest, go check out our QR code, Bovada, ladies and gentlemen. 100% on the first deposit. That means if you put $100 in, you're going to get a $200 worth. If you put $400 in, you're going to get $800 worth. If you put $1,200, well, you're going to get $2,400 worth of money. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, you can bet on almost anything, including the presidential election. So if you're a Trump or whoever fan, you have a chance to do that. We're not going to get into those, the debate or any of that stuff. No way. By the way, you can withdraw with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. And by the way, 75% on crypto sports bonuses up to $750. 125% on crypto casino bonuses up to $1,250. 100% casino bonuses up to $1,000. So you guys got a chance to make some money when you throw your Ethereum or Bitcoin into Bovada. All you have to do, and by the way, no limitations on what state you are in. You can bet anywhere. All you have to do is click the link, which is that QR code right over there on our screen, and sign up, and you have a chance to make some money. And I know this guy loves to make money, and he's making some today because he's very, very busy. Happy to have him on. He's very, very busy for the MLB. We are talking to MLBBro.com senior writer, our friend, Kevin Moore. Kevin, what's up, bud?
What's up, fellas? How we doing?
We're good, man. Obviously a little busy. You're very busy. This is a big day for you. Trade deadline, Yankees, Mets, and throughout the league. A lot of moves. Before we get into that, how busy have you been today?
Yep, as you said, pretty busy, especially with today being the deadline, moves being made. There were moves made like right before the deadline, so just me making sure that I'm up to speed with everything. So yes, it's definitely been a busy day.
Well, I will say this. I know a lot of Yankee fans are upset because they didn't really make any big moves today, but they made a big one. And they brought in Jazz Chisholm. He's been a big addition for the New York Yankees. You move him to third base. He's a very good defensive player. You could put him anywhere on the field except the catcher or pitcher. I mean, he could play multiple positions. There were some stories, and we're going to get into the whole, Torres thing, which is not a big deal. But Jazz Chisholm right now has 3 home runs in 3 games. Your thoughts of the move by Brian Cashman? And we've seen Brian Cashman make these moves over the years at the trade deadline that really give that Yankee team a boost. What do you think of Jazz Chisholm?
Yeah, I personally like the move for Jazz Chisholm going to the Bronx, being in New York, being in that market, playing alongside Judge, and just being in the Yankees uniform. I think it was a good move. And Jazz, I feel like he's the type of player that just makes baseball fun to watch. And he just has that swag that I think the Yankees were missing a bit. And now, with him on the team, I feel like they have another player, like you said, who can play anywhere defensively, besides the pitcher and the catcher position. That's a bat in the lineup. As you said, he's now hit 3 home runs in his last 3 games. And I think it's a good move. And I'm excited and interested to see, how well he does throughout the season and how he can help this team make a push in the AL.
So, but before you speak, Speedy, I just want to say something. Did you see him use Aaron Judge's his bat for those 2 home runs?
I did.
He was showing it. I don't know how that guy got that full. This is, if you look at Chisholm, he looks like 160 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah.
Seriously, he looks so thin, if that. And this guy is swinging the bat of Aaron Judge, who's 280 pounds of brute strength, and this guy is hitting. I mean, if he's hitting these home runs, I would say, if you want to swing with my bat, I'll give you a couple of my bats. Keep hitting those, baby. That's what I would say. It was unbelievable, really unbelievable how that skinny guy can swing that bat.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask about the Orioles making pitching moves as well. They bolstered it up in quantity where they had all those injuries too. The Yankees, I thought, were going to make some starting pitching moves, but they go after some bullpen moves. Those are the class of the American League right now. Cleveland's a little far behind. Do you think they did enough to hold on to that? Which team do you think did better?
Honestly, I do. I would have to go towards the Orioles. I honestly thought that it would be a potential that Flaherty went back to Baltimore, but obviously he went out west with the Dodgers. But I think the Orioles made some good moves, adding to that bullpen. I think they're a dangerous team in the AL East. They just have, from my viewpoint, they got the pitching, they got the hitting, and just adding that bullpen pieces. I think that just helps their chance of winning the AL East and making a big run in the American League come postseason time. Now I know it's not going to be easy, especially when you got the Yankees in there. But I think it's going to be very exciting just to see the Orioles and the Yankees. And to see how it plays out in the AL. But I mean, like I said, I do like the move the Yankees made with Chisholm too. But if I had to pick, I think the Orioles, they made the best move.
Both teams, obviously, and we are talking to MLBBro.com senior writer Kevin Moore. I mean, both teams are right there neck and neck. Right now, Baltimore 63-44. 589 win percentage, and then you have the Yankees 63-45, 583 win percentage. The Yankees are only 0.5 games behind, a half a game behind right now. Their run differentials are +116, which is the best in the American League. To obviously Baltimore is a +83, which is second best in the American League. You look at both those teams, and obviously the acquisitions that both of them made. They made the most acquisitions in the American League. I would have expected Cleveland to make a bigger move and a bigger push. And how about Houston? They really didn't do nothing. And I was very surprised because there were some talks that they were going to add another big bat. Vladimir Guerrero was a name that was brought up. Pete Alonso was a name a couple of months ago brought up. They made no moves really, and they stayed put. If there's any team that really stood out to me that didn't make a push or even thought to make a push, was the Houston Astros. What are your thoughts of that and why Houston didn't make any push to make a move going into the trade deadline?
Yeah, I think with the Astros, is looking at their makeup, I think they were just gonna roll with who they have and just see how it all plays out. And I know they added, they did add a lefty from the Blue Jays. I can't.
Yeah, but
I can't
come
remember.
on, they didn't.
But yeah,
add
yeah.
anything.
That's not a big, really.
They added nothing. This is a team that right now they're not playing good baseball. Yes, they're 5-5 in the last 10 games. They have a losing streak of 2. Their plus differentials definitely has gone up since the first half of the season. They're plus 49, but their home record right now, they're 30-23. Their away record, they're 25-28. They're not a good team. I don't care what anybody says, and everybody says they're dangerous. They're not a dangerous team for the Yankees. I think Cleveland is more dangerous than the Houston Astros. What are your thoughts to that?
I mean, I would agree. But you also got to look at the American League West this year. I think it's not as competitive as it has been in previous years. I mean, yes, the Astros are first in the AL West right now. Seattle's like right behind them, and Rangers, defending champs, they can still make a push to win the division. But I do think Cleveland is more dangerous, especially when you have hitters like Quan and Naylor, and them doing what they're doing. I think that the overall AL Central is just completely way better than the West, in my opinion. Like Cleveland, Minnesota, even Kansas City, those 3 teams. But I think just the Astros, should they have made like a big time move? I think they should have.
They needed another bat. I mean, honestly, Kevin, they needed another bat. This lineup is not hitting. The middle of the lineup is hot and cold. Altuve is not the same player he was. I mean, this is a lineup. Say whatever you want. It's getting old. This is becoming an older lineup. They're the guys that you thought, and we look at their farm system. You would have thought, hey, you know what? They have a guy in the weeds. There's nobody right now that I've heard that is going to be brought up in the middle of this season or at the end of this season that's going to help them offensively. I mean, they're pretty much telling you we're going to go with what we have, win or lose. We're gonna do the best that we can. Maybe we bring some guy off of waivers. There are guys that are going to become available off of waivers, but not players and game-changing players unless one of these teams are just trying to clear salary. I mean, there's nothing that stands out to me. I think Houston, out of all the teams, should have made the bigger moves. The Yankees, honestly, out of the offensive side of the ball, made the biggest move in the American League. They did, bringing in Jazz, because Jazz changes a lineup. You could see what he's doing right now. He's changing. There's nothing that changes. I don't want to hear about a pitcher I've never even heard of. I don't want to hear about this guy or that guy. And by the way, they traded off pieces, good pieces, young pieces, for a guy that, let's be honest, is he an elite pitcher, relief pitcher? He's not. So let's stop it. This is ridiculous.
For sure. And I think in the AL West, I think Seattle made the best move. Getting Arozarena from Tampa Bay. I think they made the best move, especially with them chasing Houston, currently in second place. Adding Randy to that lineup will definitely help them out for sure. So Houston, they should have made some moves and they didn't. So they'll just have to see what happens as the season progresses, and we'll see where they're at come end of September.
But here's the thing: you bring. I'm sorry to cut you off, Kevin. You bring up Seattle, okay? You bring up Seattle and what they did offensively. What did they do for their pitching? I mean, this is a pitching staff that everybody thought was going to be one of the best pitching staffs in baseball. Last year, they had one of the best bullpens in baseball. What happened? What has happened to this bullpen? What has happened to this team? I mean, this was one of the better teams in the second half of the year last year, and they're not the same team they were last year. And I thought Seattle was going to win this division. I think I picked them to win the division this year.
No, you picked Texas.
Texas and Seattle being my. I thought Houston was going to be one of the worst teams in the league. I still don't think Houston's any good, but I mean, I still think Texas could make a run because they have the coach, the manager, and they have some of the players if they can get healthy. But Seattle is the team that could really put themselves, and they just didn't help their pitching staff. Why?
That's a really good point that you made with the pitching staff, and it's to me, I just feel like kind of similar to what I said about Houston. They just are. I feel like they're complacent with where they're at, and they're gonna just roll with who they have and see how it all plays out. And like I said, with the AL West this year being kind of down, a down season, it's pretty much anybody's race with those three teams: Houston, Seattle, and Texas. And how it plays out, any one of those teams could win a division come end of the season. But I think they need to keep a close eye on Texas, because I think they can end up winning the division when the season is over, just because they have that experience. They know what winning looks like, and like you said, if those guys can stay healthy, and they have the manager, they can make a good push. But Seattle, like I said, they added Randy to the at bat in the batting order, but they didn't make no moves. Pitching wise.
I was going to ask about the sellers market, because the White Sox and the Blue Jays were supposed to be the two heaviest sellers, and the White Sox they traded one guy in that 3-team trade with the Cardinals and the Dodgers, but Crochet, Luis Robert, they were supposed to go, and then the Blue Jays, we heard Vlad Jr., like we were just talking about, Bichette was supposed to be traded. He got hurt, which maybe hurt that, but you surprised those two teams didn't do as much from a seller perspective.
And by the way, I'm sorry to cut you off. And Keith says Altuve's having a good season. Yeah, batting average, he's not hitting for power. He's had 14 home runs right now in 132 hits for 425 at bats. I mean, that's Altuve. Usually at this point of the season, he has closer to 20 something home runs. And yes, he's hitting 311, but he's not having a good season. This is not what do they call it? An MVP All-Star season for Altuve. So
no, the Astros have no individuals like that this year. And the one they had the best shot at is Kyle Tucker, and he's been hurt.
But I'm sorry to cut you off. By the way, Kevin, Ed, I'm sorry to cut you off.
So I just want to know your thoughts with the Blue Jays and the White Sox, those two teams, because they had the biggest pieces of the obvious sellers.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, like the Blue Jays, people thought that they were going to have a different season what they are currently having. And like with Guerrero and Bichette, two players who have had success in the past, I thought it was just, my thought was who or what teams would want to get Bichette or Guerrero, and what are they willing to give up? That's like my thought process on that. And I can understand why those two or the Blue Jays didn't make a move or anything, and to go along with the White Sox too, like Luis Robert, him staying put. Like, what are they willing to give up for those players? And that's I think that they just couldn't come like when it came to negotiating, or when it came to who are we willing to offer. I just feel like they couldn't come to an agreement with other teams who are potentially looking for pieces that they can put in their lineups.
As everybody knows, we are talking to MLBBros.com senior writer Kevin Moore. Kevin, the New York Mets making some interesting moves, adding relief pitching. They did not treat Pete Alonso as well as everybody thought that they weren't, especially the way he's been hitting since the All-Star break. He's smashing the ball. The Mets just knocked off the Twins the other day with 15 runs, 15-2 or 15-3. I mean, they're really smashing the ball. They're playing great baseball right now. They're right in the mix of the wild card. They added Phil Maton, Ryan Stanek, Tyler Zuber. They also added another relief pitcher from the Marlins today. A nice pick. Pitcher, I can't pronounce his name. How do you pronounce his name, Speedy? Brazaban or something like that? Brazaban. What type of moves did the Mets make? Do you think that puts the Mets in a contention to be a wild card team?
Definitely. I definitely think it does. With their move, especially acquiring Blackburn, helping out that rotation, I really think that they can make a strong push for that wild card position in the NL. And just simply how they've been playing, like this last stretch. They started off terribly, but they made a quick turnaround. As you said, Pete Alonso, he's been swinging the bat. You got a veteran player like Lindor. So I think the moves that the Mets made were very strategic, and also just bolstering their bullpen. And I think that's going to help certainly in the long run as the season progresses. And they're playing to make that wild card spot, and also seeing if they can still, move up in that division as well, because they're not too far out. So I think the Mets, they definitely made some good moves.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that division too with the Braves. Like they had all these injuries at the beginning of the year with Acuna and Strider. Then they just
We all know you don't care.
Ozzy
I don't feel
Albies.
bad about the Braves.
But they tried to bring back a lot of those guys from their World Series team. They Eddie Rosario reinstated from injury after he's bumped around the league, and then they make a
Braves
trade
brought
again.
in Solar.
And Soler, who they was on that team too, had a huge home run in that World Series. And Luke Jackson was a reliever that they brought in, who was the closer on that team at the time, or eighth inning guy. They rotated that kind of thing. Can the Braves make that kind of run, especially also too with the new playoff format, which is interesting? Like the Braves were kind of that underdog at the time, and now they were the favorites, and they haven't done well in the playoffs as much recently.
Yeah, I think the Braves. It's really just going to be tough for me personally, because with how the Mets are playing, right now I would have the Mets over the Braves, just as like when it comes to those two teams, and like the Phillies with them being at the top spot, being 8.5 ahead of the Braves. I just think that if the Braves, want to make that push and get back to that World Series, I just think everybody is going to need to be healthy, from their pitching to the players in their batting lineup, and then add in Solar. I honestly don't know how that's going to go. I feel like it can go either way. He can be really productive, really good, or the complete opposite. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out for Atlanta. But if I had to pick like a team outside of the Phillies, in my opinion, it's the Mets that can make that noise in the NL.
Oh, well, you know why the Mets are playing pretty good baseball right now. Speedy, he's out there in the dugout, and he created a glory hole for for all the Mets players. So Speedy,
that was years ago. Which means it clearly didn't work, because the Mets years ago were always horrible.
He's right there. He's downstairs in the dugout's bathroom.
And to just cut y'all off, Jazz just hit another bomb.
That's two. That's two in a game again. I mean,
So that's four.
Is he using Judge's bat again? Chisholm is Jism, right, Speedy?
I don't know. I'm not the Yankee fans that are going to make those kinds of phrases.
Chisholm is Chisholm.
Really structured. Yes, it is. And then again, anything Jazz Chisholm has done in the past is far from structured. We'll see if he turns it around with the Yankees. What he was in his rookie year.
Jazzy's just Chisholm, and he has some jism, right, Speedy?
I don't know. Again, you're the Yankee fan. You investigate.
Oh, well, I'm investigating with you.
I'm not the trade deadline acquisition.
But you
didn't see me play baseball.
Just say
it would not be it would be very much backfire.
Just say Chazzy is jism. Say that.
Now we're referring to Chaz here.
Chazzy is jism. Go ahead, do that.
We're going to say that on Thursday when Chaz is here.
All right,
Chaz is here.
No, but I want you to say it. Say it here.
It has milk says for
No,
Chazzy.
I'm asking you to say it on national radio right now. Chazzy is jism. Go ahead.
How about we let Fish do it?
No, I want you to do it. You do it better.
How do you know? You've never heard any of us. You have no idea. Now you're trying to predict voices?
Listen,
I swear, you need to get your headphones checked. I think you're hearing things from other shows.
You gotta do Chazzy is jism right now. Do it.
Just to shut you up. Chazzy is jism.
There we go.
There you go. Okay. Kevin, could you do that for me?
I'm gonna do a hard pass on that one.
No, he doesn't want to do Chazzy is jism. I like it. I like it. I mean, Speedy, you're jism, right?
I don't know what that even means. Now you're making up words. Jismed.
Anyways, we are talking to MLBBros.com senior writer Kevin Moore. Speedy is a little clueless, so that's normal, ladies and gentlemen. Another team that I think could make a run this second half is the St. Louis Cardinals. They're a team that always is lurking. Pittsburgh is a dangerous team too. Do you believe that these two teams could sneak into the playoffs? And if these two teams sneak into the playoffs, do you believe that they can win a World Series this year?
So I don't think either team could win a World Series. I just think from the experience standpoint, I don't see because what St. Louis and Pittsburgh, they got the same record right now. 7
they've been
games.
interchanging all year.
Speedy, put the Yankee game on. What are you doing?
They're 7
What the hell's
games
wrong
back from Milwaukee. So I think Milwaukee's gonna take the Central. And if I had a team to choose who can sneak into the wild card, it's really a tough one with St. Louis and Pittsburgh. Because a part of me wants to pick Pittsburgh just to see how Skeens would do if he got that opportunity to play in the postseason in his first season.
They got 2 good pitchers, man.
Yeah,
2 dominant pitchers. They'd be dangerous.
That's the part of me that wants to really see that. But I mean, with St. Louis, I'm a big fan of Mason Wynn. I really like his game. I think he's one of the up and coming young guys in the league. And I mean, I think St. Louis could sneak their way into the wild card picture. But like I said, I don't see any of these 2 teams winning a World Series. I just don't know if they have like what it takes to withstand being in the postseason after a long season. I just don't know if it's there for them.
So the Dodgers, I mean, they're an interesting team with all the injuries, the way they've had to manage it this year. They were very active at the trade deadline. We were talking about Flaherty before, and they've accumulated enough pitching. Their bullpen's actually surprisingly good, but there's a lot of holes now in their lineup with Mookie Betts hurt. Are they this fraudulent 2 seed like they always are, or you think they finally turned the tide with some of the moves they made?
I think the Dodgers. I don't think they're the frauds this year. I don't see them being frauds this year. And I say that because yes, Mookie has been hurt. But I think once he comes back, I think they're going to be in a good position to make a deep postseason run. I mean, because obviously Ohtani in the lineup. Then you add
the guy that bets on baseball. Yeah, that's him.
That was Bovada.
It wasn't him. It wasn't.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And I believe in the Easter Bunny. And I'm a Tooth Fairy fan too. It wasn't him.
But yeah,
it was the one-on-one, the one-armed man in the dugout. That was it. Yeah.
Like on paper, offensively, you would think that the Dodgers can take care of business, and then just adding Flaherty into that starting rotation. I think that was a good move for the Dodgers, adding that depth and experience. Because Flaherty, he was good with the Tigers, and I think he can translate that to the NL and be effective with LA. So I think the Dodgers, they're going to be in a good position come postseason time.
Or they also got the great Ahmed Rosario for the 2nd straight year. Legend.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm interested to see. If I just had to pick a World Series like right now, I would really love to see a Yankees and Dodgers matchup. Like that would be.
Why? Why would you see that?
I mean, that's me. I would love to see that. I would.
Aren't you a Mets fan? I thought you said you were a Mets fan.
Who, me? No, I'm not. Obviously, I'm a Detroit guy, but outside of like Detroit, I was a big Derek Jeter fan growing up. He's from Michigan. Well, not from Michigan, but he went to high school in Michigan. So that's what drew me to the Yankees. So.
Oh, so you're a Yankee fan? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying like if I had to pick a team outside of my Detroit teams.
Okay, so he's a Yankee.
Yeah.
All right, we got it. Anyways, before we let you go, your thoughts to the Detroit Lions this year. Where do you see them? Do you think they're a Super Bowl contender, and why?
I absolutely do think they're a Super Bowl contending team.
Of course you do.
I'm not just saying that just because of their success last year.
Is it the line behind you?
Oh, you can see it. I know you guys.
I'm not blind. I hope I can see it.
No,
I hope it's not the glory hole that Speedy likes to hang out with.
No, but I really like the Lions. Their roster. I like I think we have the best running back duo in the league with Montgomery and Gibbs. It's just those two are just like a tandem, and I love it. And then with JMO, obviously St. Brown, I just think they have the pieces. They have what it takes to be a Super Bowl contending team. And, obviously we saw the success they had last year. And I just think they're going to build on that success this season and, make a push for the Super Bowl. And, I did share some tears last year in the NFC title game, but, we won't bring that up. But hopefully, it could be a different story this season.
Stop shedding your tears. Stop shedding your tears.
How do I have the power to shed Kevin's tears?
Kevin, you should bring Speedy to a game. You should. You should bring. Speedy.
You would love it. For a field, it gets.
Would you put him on your? Would you put him on your shoulders if he can't see anything?
Put him on his shoulders. I mean, if you needed a boost,
Yeah, see, Speedy, look at that. He'd put you on your shoulders. I mean, look at that.
That's very impressive right there. That is impressive.
That's pretty good.
I see the ding dongs right there too.
I love my ding dongs. I asked Speedy if he would share a ding dong with me. He says, "I don't know what they are. I wouldn't share anything with you. Go share it with somebody else." And then he saw an albino alligator. He says, "That was
when
cool."
I was in like 7th grade or something.
Yeah.
So last time I was at a zoo or an aquarium of that magnitude that I can remember something like that, like fascinating, that was like unconventional for an animal.
Anyways, Kevin, we really appreciate the time. Good luck on the second half of the season. Keep writing. MLBBros.com. Go check out Kevin's writing. He's fantastic. All his guys are. But we'll be in touch before the season's over, and we'll see what your thoughts moving forward into the playoffs.
Absolutely. Hey, it's always a pleasure being on. Love talking to both you guys. I love what you're doing. Keep it up.
Thank you.
And yeah, definitely we'll talk soon.
You should come over here and come live. We're going to be doing some live shows at Miller's Ale House. You would love it. I mean, seriously, Speedy dancing around. Maybe we'll set up a glory hole over there in the bathroom over there.
No.
In the bathroom with Speedy Petey, ladies and gentlemen.
There's only one person that's been on this show that was in his bathroom, and he's not with us anymore.
Why? Somebody made a glory hole in my bathroom?
Not in your bathroom. In his bathroom. The first time we had him on the show, then he was here for a little while longer, and now he's gone.
That's interesting. Well, Kevin, I'm starting to worry about this kid over here. I'm really starting to worry. I mean, seriously. Anyways, Kevin, keep up the good work. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Appreciate it. All right, see you guys.
Kevin Moore, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, Speedy, I mean, listen, you should have been honest with Kevin. Should have been honest with him.
I was not in I'm not who I'm referring to.
But you just said that you were in that bathroom.
I said somebody on this show was in their bathroom the first time we had him on the show.
Yes. Oh, Sean Smith.
Yes.
Yeah, but were you in the bathroom with him?
No.
Are you sure you weren't trying to, find holes?
No.
And glory hound him?
No.
Okay. I think you are a glory hound.
I'm sure you did. Sean probably thought he was because he thought he could beat you in a race.
Anyways. Hey, Sean did think he could beat me in a race, by the way. He did. Unfortunately, there was just time. There's just the timing wasn't right. Okay. He's still doing his stupid stuff. Have you checked out his posts on TikTok?
No.
You don't like Sean?
I don't use TikTok outside of this network.
Are you upset at Sean? Are you upset?
I don't use TikTok outside of this network.
Are you upset at
No,
Sean?
I'm not. I'm not dealing with that. I'm saying I don't use TikTok outside of this network.
So you're upset at him?
That has nothing to do with anything.
So I'm just asking you if you're upset at him.
I don't care.
Oh, so you don't care about him? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying I don't care. I don't go on TikTok outside of this network, which has nothing to do with any individual person.
Okay, so you don't like
It
playing.
has nothing to do with anything.
Okay, so you don't want anything to do with Sean Smith.
I don't want anything to do with unnecessarily going on TikTok outside of this network.
So we're good with Sean. You hate Sean.
It makes no sense. You said two completely opposite things.
Well, that's the whole thing. I'm an oxymoron.
I can tell.
The USA beat Serbia 110-84 in their first Olympic basketball game. Steve Kerr admitted he made a mistake not playing Jason Tatum at all in their first game. Many fans were taking shots at Kerr for not playing Tatum, playing time over Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid also took shots at fans saying he was fazed by the crowd, saying it's only because he was playing for Team USA. USA Today writer Jeff Zilgett, said that Kevin Durant is making his case to be the greatest USA basketball player ever. Skip Bayless and Keyshawn Johnson also were arguing whether KD or LeBron should be MVPs, with Skip taking KD and Keyshawn saying it's LeBron. Okay. First of all, LeBron James and Kevin Durant. By the way, Kevin Durant has not practiced with the team because he hasn't been healthy. He didn't even play he didn't play in any of the games coming up to the Olympics, but he starts for the Olympic team. So that's bad coaching by Steve Kerr. The fact that you would start Kevin Durant over Jason Tatum after Jason Tatum just came off winning a championship is a joke. An absolute joke. Now, I know everybody loves Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant is the guy that, besides LeBron James, one of the top, him and LeBron were arguably the two best players in the league for the last decade. Okay? And that's fine. You like Kevin Durant, you like LeBron James, you want to make love to them, you want to kiss them, you want to do whatever the hell you want with them, that's good. This United States team is not beating these younger, better athletic teams like France if they don't play their youngsters. I'm talking about Anthony Edwards. I'm talking about Jason Tatum. I'm talking about Anthony Davis. I'm talking about all the young players on this roster. And Steve Kerr is not a good coach, okay? Why isn't Greg Popovich the coach of this team? How about this? Why isn't Spoelstra the head coach of this team? What the hell has Steve Kerr done? He's been coaching Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, and at one point, Kevin Durant and Wiggins at the top of their games. He has not coached teams and players that you're building with that weren't superstars. They were all superstars. Now he comes to a team that is all built on superstardom, and he doesn't know how to coach these guys. He has no control of these players. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I would have done everything I could to try to bring Coach K out of retirement and bring him back. And Coach K, if you look at his record as the United States head coach, I mean, it's pretty obvious that this team has not been as dominant since Coach K was that coach. The Redeem team, even the teams that he coached before that. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Coach K only lost one game in United States Olympic history. That's the truth. He's only lost one game. And if you look at Joel Embiid should not be playing for Team USA. He's not even United States born. Okay? These are facts. If you're not born in, I understand the Olympics is all about playing for your team, where you come from. All right, why don't you play for Haiti? Isn't that where he's from?
Nigeria.
Why don't you play? Is there a Nigeria? Because there's no Nigeria team.
No.
So why didn't he play for somebody else? Why is Joel Embiid playing for Team USA? It's like asking Wembanyama to play for Team USA, even though he's born in France.
Right.
But because he's in the United States for 7 years, he hasn't been in the United States for 7 years. But if he was, he could play for Team USA.
Right.
He shouldn't be on Team USA. Honestly, that's what I'm saying. Jason Tatum was born in the United States. Jaylen Brown is born in the United States. Why isn't Jaylen Brown on this team? Kawhi Leonard, why isn't he on this team? Oh, he was hurt. He took himself out. No, he didn't. Grant Hill took him out. The fact is, right now, there's such a love fest for Kevin Durant. There's such a love fest for LeBron James and Steph Curry, because they are three of the greatest players of this decade, for them to play as much as they had over the last game. And I'm going to say this again. LeBron James, yes, he's powering himself in there. And Kevin Durant could still hit an open jump shot. And Steph Curry, we'd hope, can hit an open jump shot, even though he didn't look good in game number 1. No. But if they're not playing well, why aren't you transitioning? You have this whole talented bench with Anthony Edwards and Jason Tatum and all these other guys coming off the bench. Why aren't they playing? Why aren't we seeing all these players on the basketball court? This is Team USA basketball. There should be a rotation. Why is LeBron James and KD looked at as the MVPs of the tournament when it was after one game? What? Because they scored 20 points? They were shooting most of the shots for Team USA. I don't know what the shooting percentage. I think LeBron James shot like 15, 16 times. Kevin Durant shot about 12, 13 times. I mean, no other team shot more than them. So, of course, they're going to be MVPs. They're shooting more than any of the players on the other team, on their team and the other team.
Yeah.
So, of course, they're the MVPs.
When you get that many possessions, too, you're going to keep shooting because it's hot and apparently. That doesn't mean it's sustainable.
And I'm going to tell you this right now. If the Dream Team played the Serbia team, it would have been 140 to 84.
Yeah.
It would have been 150 to 84. It wouldn't have been close. So, Skip Bayless, the Herd, Paul Pierce, eat your heart out. You guys don't know what the hell you're talking about. I don't want to hear this anymore. This team isn't close to the Dream Team. This team couldn't itch the Dream Team's ass. They couldn't shine Michael Jordan's sneaker. Those are the facts. What is it right here? What's the numbers
so
here?
We got 21 points on 9 of 13 shooting. So that's 13 shots for him. Durant off the bench had 9. So Durant had more shots than the rest of the starters besides LeBron.
They both those guys average more shots than every single player on that team. So, of course, they're considered the MVP.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
LeBron James, with the Redeem team, he needed Kobe Bryant on that team if they were going to win a championship because he couldn't bring it home for Team USA. Okay, so I understand. I know Keith says that this United States is going to win the gold medal. There's no guarantees that they're going to win the gold medal. There is none. And if they lose one game in the semifinals or in the finals, they don't win the gold medal.
Mm-hmm. And there's a level of, we were talking about effort before, and when we were talking about it last week, when they were playing way too close with these other teams too. You don't think these other teams can expose those kinds of concepts to be brought to that game as well, where they're going to be playing more team basketball. This is not necessarily team basketball, even though they scored 100 points, it's just a depth and talents difference. Because yeah, Serbia's got Nikola Jokic, but they don't have like the well-rounded group of other top NBA players like that right away. They have good finale. They have good professional players. They have good pros, but it's not like they have NBA level pros and depth of NBA pros. Jason Tatum is, like we were saying when Mikey C was here, you two were arguing of whether he was the 5th best player of the NBA or the 8th. Regardless, it's still better besides Nikola Jokic than anybody on that Serbia roster by far. And that's a big problem when you're dealing with that kind of thing. Yeah, they had a blowout, but it says a lot about Steve Kerr. I agree with that. Like, Jason Tatum should be playing more. Joel Embiid's clearly struggling, so he only got 11 minutes, and they finally adjusted to that. But still, it doesn't make sense that these veteran guys, these old guys, are playing so much, and the young guys aren't.
No, Anthony Davis should be playing a lot of games. I mean, he should be playing a lot of minutes. He's the young superstar on that team. Him and Jason Tatum are the young players on that team.
Right.
I've been dominant forces in top 10 players in the NBA for the last 2 years. Why aren't they on the court? They're the next up-and-coming stars for Team USA basketball. They should be shown off. They should be shown off as the talent of this team.
Right.
And it makes no sense. So let's bring Fish in and his thoughts to it. By the way, just so everybody knows, that was one game. And we're going, when's the next United States game? Is that tomorrow? I think it's tomorrow. If I'm not mistaken, it's tomorrow. I don't know exactly what's scheduled, but I think it's tomorrow. They play another game. So, but
yep,
Fish,
tomorrow at 3.
Yeah. So, Fish, your thoughts. Remember, you're on mute.
You're muted.
You're
Fish.
on mute, Fish. Come on.
Sorry about that, guys. It's pretty obvious that this is a pretty good team. I don't know if it's a great team. You're going to have to deal with the fact that it's an international type of thing. So you're not going to have the traditional spacing that you'd have in the NBA. So a lot of the shooters are struggling to try to figure out their place in it. They actually have Durant coming in off the bench, which makes him like the best 6th man of all time type of a situation here, running the offense second unit, playing against backups of Serbia, which I don't think is very fair. Well, if he's going to shoot 8 of 9 and hit all 5 of his threes, Durant's going to have a pretty good run here in the playoffs, in the Olympics. Obviously, that's not sustainable. So what are we really looking at? We're looking at a team that just started a 3-guard lineup. We're looking at a team that has 3 centers, Embiid playing 11 minutes, Anthony Davis really playing a bunch, and Bam Adebayo actually had a pretty good game as well. So really, what are we looking at? We just found out that they didn't play Tatum at all. Jason Tatum, is in the MVP conversations perennially, and he didn't even get off the bench. We know Halliburton isn't playing. He's basically the last guy on the roster right now, which makes me very happy. After Jalen Brunson didn't get a chance to take him out in the playoffs the way he should have, in my opinion. Although he did have a chance to do it on WWE like 2 weeks later. Look, this is a good team. They're gonna beat the teams that they should beat. The worry is going to be the home team of France. The Japanese team's actually pretty good. Rui Hachimura being their best player. They lost to France in overtime earlier today after Rui Hachimura actually got kicked out for unsportsmanlike conduct. So there's teams that are actually trying to mix it up, be a little aggressive and physical. So it's nice to see that in the international competition. The physicality, though, is where the U.S. should be able to dominate. There isn't anyone as physical as LeBron James, as Bam Adebayo, as AD. They should be able to take care of it if they play that way. Now it's up to Steve Kerr to coach them up, guys.
Good luck.
You said it yourself, Earl. Steve Kerr's had this all-star team every year he's been there. And this is an all-star team too, but it's a team that's just coming together. Now, Coach K, Popovich, they've got teams together. They're these master organizers of talent. We are yet to see if Steve Kerr can do it. This is a big proving moment for Steve Kerr, in my opinion. This could be the end of his run with the Warriors. Maybe this is it, and he goes off into the sunset if he can get a gold medal. We're not really talking about that too much. That's not really the roster he wants to coach over there in Golden State, and we'll see if he can handle this type of roster.
He's gone.
It has to be proven.
He's gone next year. He's not staying with that team. That team is done. They're going to blow that team up. I thought they were going to blow it up this offseason. They kind of did because the Klay Thompson's not coming back. But everybody thinks that they're going to bring in another star to play with. Nobody wants to go over there. Steph Curry is at 30, 34, 35 years old. He's getting up there in age. He's going to win another title. I could see him push his way out. Draymond Green is a shell of himself. Klay Thompson's playing with the Mavericks now. I mean, where are they going? I understand they brought some players in the offseason, but they're nowhere close to what Klay Thompson and Splash Brothers were. I mean, Klay Thompson's a shell of himself, but it's crazy. And I agree with you, James. This is not the dream team, and it's just ridiculous when you hear that. No. It just makes you sick to your stomach when you hear Colin Cowherd say that. You've heard this before. Paul Pierce say that. It's a joke. And Paul, I don't know what you remember about Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan was in 92. He was in the prime of his career. Michael Jordan was a rookie in 84, 85. What was Michael Jordan at that year? 28, 29 on that Olympic team? He was in the prime, not even in the prime of his career. He was up and coming superstar in the game. He took over for that Team USA team with obviously Charles Barkley and Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, all these guys that were the faces of the NBA. He became the face right after that Olympics. He became internationally the face of basketball. So I'm tired of listening to people. By the way, right now for the Olympics, the United States lead everybody right now with 26 total medals, 4 golds, 11 silvers, 11 bronze. France, 5 golds, 9 silvers, 4 bronze for 18. China, 6 golds, 6 silvers, and 2 bronze for 14. Japan, 7 golds, 2 silvers, 4 bronzes for 13. And Great Britain, 4 golds, 5 silvers, and 3 bronze for 12. And on and so on and so on and so on. So it's really, I gave you the top 5. United States, dominating. Congratulations to United States gymnastics team for the men's who got the bronze yesterday for the team, and for the women's today getting the gold, which was expected. It was either them or Brazil. And obviously this might be the last time we see Simone Biles. This could be the last, last Olympics she's going to be in. I think she's 27 years old.
27, yeah.
She's one of the oldest gymnasts to win a gold medal. And she has a chance to win more gold medals because she's going to be the individual. There's a very, very good chance to see the Olympics. See this Simone Biles come home with 4 or 5 gold medals. So
Keith has an interesting comment about comparing Steve Kerr to Phil Jackson. What are you talking about? Phil Jackson only won with loaded teams too. Really?
Phil Jackson did it with 3 teams. He did it with 3 teams, 3 different teams, because he did it with the Chicago Bulls, and they didn't win without Phil Jackson. He did it with the Lakers of Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe, which, by the way, when Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe were there their first year, they did not win. Phil Jackson went there, and they win 3 titles. Then Phil Jackson was gone, and Kobe, all this other stuff. Phil Jackson was brought back from retirement again because Kobe couldn't win a championship without him, and they had Pau Gasol and all that other stuff. And then what did they win? They win 2 titles. So let's go to that. Steve Kerr, what has he won? And he had Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, and Wiggins on that same roster last year. Where were they? Now, if Phil Jackson was there, I bet you they're a top 5 seed.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you they're a top 5 seed. So stop it, Keith. You're going to compare Steve Kerr, who's trying to mimic Phil Jackson's triangle offense, to Phil Jackson?
I think even Steve Kerr would laugh at that.
I think it's ridiculous to even compare both of those guys. There's only one coach in NBA history I'd compare Phil Jackson to, and that's Red. That's it. And that's the same guy that taught him what the triangle offense was. So, I mean, it's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous statement. That was probably one of the dumbest statements Keith Rooney has ever made. And I love Keith. And Keith has some great comments and great comebacks, but that was stupid.
Keith also says it doesn't matter who starts; they are playing well. Okay, but it's still good to be more.
They're playing
strategic.
Well. You think
if
that's
they're
well?
Not this kind of thing is not always going to be sustainable if LeBron is taking the majority of the shots of the game
They're
when
playing
he's
well.
not the greatest raw shooter on the team either. Like, he's athletic, he's obviously still a great passer and rebounder, but like, in terms of just the raw shooting ability, there are much more guys on this roster better than LeBron at this point in LeBron's career. So him taking 13 shots is not necessarily a sustainable strategy, Keith. And I think that's the thing that Steve Kerr needs to be criticized for, just not evolving. It might work in this game.
No, it's because he's not coaching a team. LeBron James is coaching the team.
There you go. And there you see
That's
the other
the
problem.
fact. That's the fact. It's not Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr is not calling the plays. It's LeBron James. I don't know if anybody watched the game on Sunday, because I did. I was hanging out. I saw what was going on. When Steve Kerr called the timeout, who was out there calling the plays and pointing down at the board? It was LeBron James. LeBron James is coaching the team. LeBron James is the leader of the team, not Steve Kerr. This has become everything what the NBA is and what the NBA should be passing from, and that's LeBron friggin' James. That's the facts.
And now
I don't know
the
why.
Olympic level.
It's
GM LeBron,
ridiculous.
Coach LeBron, everything LeBron.
LeBron James is the one that wanted Kawhi Leonard out. That's why Kawhi Leonard's not part of this team. He wanted Derek White over Jaylen Brown. That was a coinky dink. And then Jaylen Brown came and took shots at his son. That's not a coinky dink. This is all not a coincidence, guys. This is all a rotation. It's a circle. Like Chuck and Larry, baby. Speedy, you know all about the circle.
No, I don't. But at this rate, it would surprise me if LeBron threw Jason Tatum off the team
Did
for
you
his
ever
son.
see Chuck and Larry?
No.
You've
But
never seen Chuck and Larry?
Good
I wouldn't
movie.
I wouldn't be
It was.
surprising if LeBron throws Jason Tatum off his team for his son at this rate. That scores 4
It's all
points a
about
game
the
in the summer
circle, Speedy.
league.
It's all about the circle, Speedy.
Isn't it crazy that you could have Jason Tatum not play? You can have Jaylen Brown not be on the team, yet Derek White and oh my God, I'm blank on his name. The guard, this defensive guard in the league,
Drew Holiday.
and Drew Holiday is starting. Yet the 2 guys who are better than them, that are the leaders of the Celtics, don't play. I don't understand how you come up with that idea that the
LeBron.
3rd and 4th best players should play over the first and
It's
second.
LeBron. Great coach LeBron.
It's LeBron. I mean,
Wizard
come on.
of many talents.
JJ Redick, he's the coach of the Lakers. Why? Because LeBron James wanted it. And who's going to be coaching the team this year? LeBron James.
Maybe LeBron will throw
Coach
Anthony.
LeBron, baby.
Maybe LeBron will throw Anthony Edwards
He
off
should
the
be
team for
coach of
JJ
the-
Redick to play. at
He
this
should be
rate.
coach of the Olympics instead of player of the Olympics. It's ridiculous. It's a joke. It is a joke. LeBron James is running this team. It's not Grant Hill. It's not Steve Kerr. It's not the Association of the United States. It's LeBron friggin' James. And it's a shameful thing. It really is. It's shameful because the United States, if they lose and somebody needs to be pointed at, it won't be pointed at LeBron James. It won't. It will not be pointed at LeBron James. You know who it'll be pointed at, Speedy? Do you know who it'll be pointed at?
Everybody else.
It'll be pointed at every single body, including the players that are not playing. Oh, Jason Tatum, he didn't want to play, or he wasn't hurt, he wasn't healthy. Okay, why is Kevin Durant playing when he's coming off a major injury? Why is he on this roster and Kawhi Leonard isn't? Because LeBron James wanted it. That's why.
Yep.
LeBron James didn't want Jaylen Brown. He wanted Derek White. This is the problem right now in the NBA. The players run the league. And it's transitioning like that in every single sport. When the owners and really the commissioner should be running the sport, it should be going through the owners. No, it's going through the players. And LeBron James is the player right now in the NBA. And it's not so much that LeBron James isn't such a great player. He is. There's no doubt he's still a great player. The problem with LeBron James is when LeBron James wants to make the tabloids, and LeBron James wants to make a statement on where the NBA is heading, it always has to be him. It's not about anybody else in the league. Anthony Edwards is one of the best young superstars right now in the NBA. One of the best. How many minutes did he play in game number 1? How many minutes did he play? Jason Tatum is one of the top 8 players in the NBA right now. He's better than LeBron James and Kevin Durant.
At this current moment, absolutely.
He is better than both of them. How many minutes did he play in that game?
0.
But Derek White, who, by the way, made this team because LeBron James wanted him over Kawhi Leonard. Derek White and Drew Holiday. No offense to Drew Holiday, and I love Drew Holiday. He's a great player. Who the hell is Drew Holiday over Jason Tatum? It is ridiculous. This is a joke. This is a joke. And this is the way the Olympics is. It's become a joke. Who is it?
Looks like we got Keith on the phone.
Keith, what's up? Do we have him? It's probably you have to point. There it is. Keith?
Yeah, it's Keith.
Keith, what's up?
Can I speak?
Yeah, go ahead, speak. Just mute your
Oh,
television.
yeah, let me move.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, hold on.
Wow, Speedy, your
Hey.
voice is even more scarier than it is.
Okay.
Sounds like Count Dracula. Count Dracula.
Am I on?
Yes, go ahead, Keith. Go ahead.
First of all, you mustn't have seen the first game.
I did watch
Durant didn't start.
I didn't
number
say.
one.
Okay, I made a
Yes, you did.
mistake. I made a mistake.
Okay, all right,
It doesn't matter.
okay.
He played as much as the starter did.
Whoa. He played 17 minutes. That's it.
Okay.
Out of 40.
Okay.
Okay, and now if you look at it, except for Tatum not playing, they all played around the same amount of minutes, except for LeBron. He played more. Everybody, the whole entire team.
Mm-hmm.
So it has been balanced. He has been rotating it. He is not a bad coach. I don't know why you never liked him, but I don't know why you say that. He's a good coach. He might not be a great coach, but he's definitely a good coach and a very good coach. And look at Phil Jackson. What did he ever win with? Nothing but stars. Nothing. He's the most overrated.
Oh, hold on 1 second, Keith.
Now he came out with a
Keith,
great
hold
offense, Phil
on, Keith.
Phil
All right.
Jackson never
Michael
won
Jordan,
without-
Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. Did they win without Phil Jackson? Did they win without Phil Jackson?
Yes.
No, they didn't.
Did they go to champion? Did Curry win without Phil Jackson? Did Durant? Did Thompson? No.
But what are you talking about? They were going to win. It doesn't matter.
Did they win without Steve Kerr?
Are you kidding me? Are we really
No,
getting
I'm
into
asking
this?
you a question. It's the same thing you're saying.
Okay.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, I'm telling you right now, Steve Kerr is not anywhere close to the same coach as
How do
Phil
you know that?
Jackson. How do
How
I
do you
know
know
that?
that?
I can see right now, Phil Jackson's not going to be listening to
He had
LeBron
the
James.
greatest
He's not going to be
player
listening to
ever on
LeBron
his
James.
team. He had 2 of the greatest players ever, 2 of the top 3 or 4 ever, and Bryant and Jordan. Never mind Shaq, Pippen, right? 4 great players right there. Great, and not just them. Rodman, a maybe the best defensive player ever. I'm not saying he wasn't a great coach, but he had amazing talent, more than Kerr.
Really?
Both organizations.
Really?
Look what he did.
More than Kerr, huh?
Wait, when did he ever win with the team that didn't have?
Then
great
why
talent?
is everybody comparing this whatever team
I don't
to
know.
the dream team? If he
Okay,
hasn't had the
listen.
talent, He hasn't had the talent like Phil
I'm with
Jackson.
you on that. I don't think they're a considered dream team. Okay, but you couldn't have watched the first game.
I watched the first game. I watched the first game.
Why are you saying Durant? If you saw he only missed one shot.
Why is Durant?
It's only one game.
Why
It's
is
only one
Durant?
game,
Why
I
is
agree.
Durant playing when he missed almost every single preseason game?
He
before
should be playing. He obviously proved why he's playing because they know he's obviously.
Oh,
fit.
so he's more of
He
an
missed
he's a
one
better
shot.
option. He's a better option than Kawhi Leonard. Is that what you're telling me?
Absolutely.
You're out of
right
your
now.
mind.
Kawhi's
You're out
always
of-
hurt.
Okay,
Why should Kawhi hurt? He's hurt way more than Durant.
Kawhi's a better two-way player, Keith. He's a better two-way player.
He's not near as good offensively right now. Not
Okay,
near.
stop it. Stop it. Yes,
No,
that's
he's
not true. That's not true.
Listen, Kawhi's been banged up for years. You know that. More than Durant. More than Durant.
Durant's still been banged up. It's not like
Not
Durant's
near as
clean
much
of
as Kawhi.
healthy.
Hey, let me ask you a question. How's Durant done so far? In 17 minutes. It's only one game, I agree.
And you're going to tell me Kawhi Leonard can't do that?
No, he can't do
Oh,
that.
stop.
He can't hit threes.
Stop.
He can hit the three like
His
Durant. Are you
his
kidding
three-point
me?
percentage was very high this past year. Yeah.
It
he can.
always is. Durant's a much better three-point
It
shooter.
doesn't
Look it
matter.
up.
You're going to tell me Kawhi Leonard's a better all-around defensive player. He's a better all-around player. And by the way, Kawhi Leonard
Not
averaged
right
20.
now. Maybe close. It's close.
Oh, he's a way better defensive player than Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
way
I'll
better.
give you that. He's better. Way better right now. Not right now. He's always hurt.
Kawhi Leonard
When has
averaged
he done?
24 points a game this year. 24 points a game.
Yeah, when healthy, Errol. Why should he be on the? And he's the one who left anyway.
No, he didn't. Grant
he
Hill
did. I
told
know
him.
you said he did.
Grant Hill
Hey, there's
told
two
him to go
reports
home.
on that.
Grant
He
Hill
said
told him
right
to go
now.
home. Grant
Which,
Hill told
by
him
the
to go home.
way, by the way, you know that's not Steve Kerr's choice, right?
No, it's LeBron. Coach LeBron.
Coach LeBron.
No, and Kerr doesn't pick the team. Kerr doesn't do whatever.
No, you're right. LeBron James is sitting there saying, I want this guy, I want that guy, I want this guy, I want that
Yeah,
guy.
well, the whole NBA kisses LeBron's ass for some disgusting reason.
Yeah, well,
I'm just saying, dude. But you really, you the way you come down on Kerr doesn't make any sense. He won 4 championships. I don't care who he had. It's like the old days of the Yankees, right? That would be like saying all their managers won shit because they had the greatest talent by far.
But it's a little different with basketball when you actually have to be schematic.
No, it's not different. It's the same shit. Yeah, basketball's harder. I agree, but it's the same shit.
Basketball's not harder.
I didn't say it was harder. I just said it's different.
Baseball's harder.
It's different schematically.
Baseball's harder.
No,
Phil
baseball-
Jackson's.
no, that's what I meant. Excuse me, I meant that. Yeah, basketball could be.
Well,
easier
I
when you have
meant
to-
I meant Kevin Durant was coming off the bench, but he still played
No, I
17
know
minutes.
that, but
He played
but
17
I don't-
minutes, which is
I don't
as
care
much
who
as the starter.
starts. It doesn't matter who starts.
Who
when you have that,
finishes?
or who comes out the best. It matters who finishes. Usually, if they need to win. You know what I'm saying? That whole game, it didn't matter who played. They're going to kick the shit out of them anyway.
Let me ask you a
We'll
question,
see.
Keith. Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
And this is an honest question. Kevin Durant, if he didn't play on those Golden State Warrior teams, does he ever win a championship?
Does he ever?
Does he
I
ever
don't
win a
know.
championship? Yes or no?
It doesn't matter.
It's a
He
yes
did.
question. Does he win
He
a
did.
championship without those Warrior teams? Yes or no?
Okay.
I'm asking you.
I don't know. We don't know.
The answer
Where
is
would you
no.
think?
He was
They
on
had
OKC.
OKC.
He was
Wait,
on OKC.
the
They
answer's
never
not-
won.
You don't know that.
I do know that. Now let's
No,
go to
you
Kawhi
don't.
Leonard. Kawhi Leonard
No, you
left the
don't.
San Antonio Spurs. He goes to the Raptors with practically nobody. Does he win a championship?
Yeah, I didn't say
Who
Kawhi's
did he
not
beat?
better.
Who did he beat?
All around.
Who did he beat?
Nobody great. That
Who
year,
did
they
he
weren't
beat?
Great.
Who did he beat?
You know who they beat.
He beat the Golden State Warriors.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I'm not saying Kawhi's not better. Well, Kawhi's just been banged up for year after year after year since he's been with the Clippers. You know,
Okay,
but
Kevin Durant has
and
never gotten
also,
hurt
wait,
ever in that
do
same
you really think? Hey, listen, Popovich is like 110 years old. I even heard you say that the game's passed him
Yes,
by.
he has. But I would take him over
Okay.
Steve Kerr.
No way. Not right now.
I hate Steve Kerr. I think he's so overrated as
It
a
doesn't.
coach.
It doesn't matter who's coaching his team. It doesn't matter. It's the Olympics. They got the most talent by far. If they don't win, then they're a joke. But
They're a
they'll
joke
win.
anyways.
No, they're not a joke, dude. They got so much talent that they can put out whoever. Booker is awesome. They just, if they don't win, it'll absolutely be ridiculous. But I don't see how they don't.
Oh, but I could see them not winning. I could see them
Well,
walking into a team
France
that
is
wants
the
it
only
water.
team, maybe.
wants
that'll
it
give
more.
them a game.
Oh yeah.
I think Canada too.
well,
I think Canada too. I think Canada can give them.
No, they'll crush Canada.
I don't know, man. All it takes is one bad game.
Canada didn't have an easy time the first game.
Okay. You think that was easy against Serbia?
Yes, it was easy.
It looked easy. They didn't win by 50 points like the Dream
You don't
Team
got to
did.
win by 50 points.
With this team, they should.
And Errol, let's think about it. Back when
Besides-
that was the Dream Team was the. Hold on, let's think about it. Right back then, the world wasn't near playing the same, quality of basketball as they are now. The world is caught up in a big way. Most of the great players are from Europe. They just don't play defense as far as offense. Am I right?
Yes, you were right about that. But again, at that time, the game was completely different too. So you have to look at the game and the rules. The rules all work in favor of these players, these offensive. Could you imagine Michael Jordan in the game right now, in the prime of his career, playing with the rules that the NBA? It would be ridiculous. Everybody thinks I'm crazy. Michael Jordan would be averaging 60 points a game.
No, of course, absolutely. If he needed to, if he wanted to, absolutely.
He'd be averaging 60 points, going to the free throw line.
And a healthy Bird would be right by.
Oh my God! Could you imagine Larry Bird in the way they play?
Listen, that team doesn't compare. I don't care what anyone says. I agree with that. But we'll find out. I don't see them really getting challenged too much. I think they just turned it out like, those other games didn't mean shit. They don't mean anything. But it also shows the Dream Team they weren't a letdown. It's different now.
It's just the rules. It's just the rules. It's just completely different.
Yeah, and the Olympics, you don't see that much banging, though. They seem to be letting them play a little bit. But,
Philadelphia ties.
The whole refereeing's different, and absolutely it's different.
Oh,
but
God. Here comes
I don't compare. The thing, like I said, though, my whole thing is same thing with Phil Jackson. What did he do when he went to shitty teams? He was awful. Running a team, he was awful. Who did he coach? What bad team did he coach? With mediocre talent at best? Tell me.
I don't know because he didn't have it.
None.
But I would compare when he does an executive with the Knicks is the same thing.
Who's the catcher tonight for the Yankees?
Worst.
He tried to stop that with his bare hand. What a
Him
terrible.
and Isaiah were horrible. And each one of them were there.
Yeah.
You know Phil Jackson.
It's a different thing being an executive and being a coach, though. Like
I'm saying,
he tried to resurrect the triangle when it was past its time.
He obviously wouldn't have been able to put a good team together because he showed that with the Knicks.
Okay, but it's also different than being an in-game head coach with a roster that was set up by a different team.
Right, and the roster was sick, and by far the most talented each one of his teams, by far.
Okay,
am I right?
That's fine.
I agree with that.
That also should believe
so
you
to. No. That's all that matters. Same as with Kerr. He was lower talent. Now he's not, and he's not winning. That's what it comes down to in the NBA. Coaching is overrated in a big way at that level. Not in college. College, it's huge. But at any professional level, except for football, I'd say, coaching is really overrated. Let's think about baseball, right? It's all analytics. There's no more coaches. Guys don't coach with the feel to the game. That's just becoming a sport. And I think it sucks. I think the guys who will shine, like Miami, for instance, I agree. Spoelstra's the best. He's the one guy who really gets more out of his team than anybody and overachieves. That's it. You can't name me anybody else who does that.
No, not to that same level recently because Miami's been
Even
like making it as
Jackson
8
didn't
seeds or 5
overachieve.
seeds.
Now, Jackson
Tom Thibodeau
is a very good coach. To win all the championships, you have to be. And the triangle offense.
Rick Carlisle did that with the championship Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah,
did.
he's all right. Yeah, he did. I'll give you that. He's pretty good. He's not Spoelstra's level. He got coached big time in the Boston series.
Yeah, he did, and that's because his team was not anywhere close to the.
Yeah, I know, but he still didn't coach the Knicks series. Obviously, he coached great, but you know what? You have bad series, great series. Rick Carlisle stuff. He's a top 5 coach, in my opinion. But I just don't think Kerr's as bad as you think he is.
I don't like him. That's just.
I know you don't like him. I don't know why.
He's like a dirty fart. He's like a dirty fart that lingers in the air.
Okay, about that analogy, but anyway, guys.
The Yankees are going to screw this one up. This is.
Don't tell me to.
Yep, they're going to screw this one up with Holmes right over here. He's going to screw this one up, This is ridiculous.
I just looked at the
Is
TV.
Harper up? Harper is up. This is game over.
Yeah.
This is game over.
awful.
Could they just pull him? This is where Aaron Boone needs to open up his eye. Okay,
I said that. Yeah, remember I told you.
pull him out.
He doesn't handle pitching well at all.
Pull him out.
He
this
just
game.
doesn't. I think Canley should be the closer right now.
They're going to keep who should be the closer?
Canley, son.
Well, he might. They might. I mean,
Yeah.
this is game over. I'm going to tell you this right now. Somebody's going to screw something up.
Let's pray not, but it doesn't feel too good.
It doesn't feel too good. I mean,
No, it doesn't
to
look
him,
like
he's
it looks
probably
good.
he's
But
probably
Harper's
coming in his
been
pants
ice
right
cold.
now.
The only thing we can hope is Harper's been 1 for 24.
Oh man! Oh, what a pitch! Ready? He'll have 2 strikes and then throw a wild pitch, and the game's going to be over.
Yeah, like I don't know too.
Yep.
All right, man. I'll let you go. Watch the
All right.
game and good luck. Bye.
All right, man. Clay Holmes does suck. I'm done.
Seems like everybody's done. You got Tom being done. You got you being done with Clay Holmes.
I'm just tired of watching this garbage. I take him out, pull him out. You know the game is like on its last leg. Why would you keep him in when he's not pitching well in this inning? You win by the gun, you die by the gun. I mean, seriously, Speedy, you know all about winning and dying by the gun.
No, I don't.
You don't?
No, I don't.
Well, glory holes and everything.
No.
How about you, Fish? Win by the gun, die by the gun. He's gonna walk him.
I don't-
Watch.
If he walks him, that's ridiculous. I don't know.
All right, it's 2-2. You ready? Ready to watch this disaster of a game right here? Glory hole. I love that. It's a movie starring Speedy P. Look at his face. What do you think, Speedy? Think that'll be a good movie?
No. I'm not advocating.
Oh, there it is.
Any movie with that title.
Wow, what a luck. That was so lucky. That was as lucky as it gets. It hits off of DJ LeMahieu's hand. It goes to Torres, and then he throws it look at this, off his leg. That was lucky. What a friggin' luck. How lucky could you get?
We'll take luck. DJ LeMahieu has been so terrible. He's now a defensive replacement for first base, and he's got to use every part of his body to make a play.
Could we not bring Holmes back in the next inning?
They
not.
can.
They
They
might.
just traded for all these relievers. Maybe they'll let him go another inning.
They're not there
because
yet. They're not
that's-
there yet. They can't play, I think,
That's what I'm saying.
until the end of the week. I think it's something that you got to give them like 2 days or 3
It
days.
usually
or
takes 2
something.
days
Yeah,
to travel,
something
so it
like
probably
that.
won't be
Yeah,
until
it's
the next
usually a
series.
travel thing.
Yeah, so you won't see any of those guys until next game. But listen, the Yankees they had some relief pitching. We'll see how well they play. It looks like Jazzy Chisholm, Mr. Chisholm, is ready to roll. I mean, he's 4 home runs in 3 games. Speedy, you should be happy, right?
I'm not the Yankee fan here.
I mean, you should.
Hey,
be
we got to talk about why they're in this situation, guys. Clay Holmes, Garrett Cole was supposed to start tonight. Garrett Cole has body fatigue because he just pitched 3 straight games where he said, quote unquote, that he reached his max amount of pitches he's allowed in 3 straight games. So now his body isn't recovering from pitching, I guess, 100 pitches.
My body's
I
not
don't know if
recovering.
that
What does that
much.
mean? What the hell does that mean?
I know what that's all about too. Trust me, but it's
not wrong.
look. I'm older than those guys too. There's only LeBron's like the only one older than me left playing professional sports. I feel it, man. I understand why they don't play after a certain age. I can get it.
Speaking of the Yankees, after the Yankees traded for Jazz Chisholm, Gleyber Torres was annoyed at the possibilities he would have to move to third base. Torres told reporters that he is the only second baseman, while Chisholm told reporters he would be open to moving to third. Torres has 13 errors this season, the most among second basemen this season. WFAN's Keith McPherson says that Gleyber Torres is going out sad and earned his ticket out of New York. Thank you, Mr. Keith McPherson. He also added that one move can change a team, and the Yankees are back after trading for Chisholm. Garrett Cole was also scratched from tonight's start because the Yankees say he has body fatigue. Cole told reporters that he doesn't think it's the elbow issue. The Yankees didn't trade for any starting pitching, but did trade for a relief pitcher in Mark Leiter Jr., which is Al Leiter's son, who's 33 years old and he's a relief
Nephew.
pitcher. Is it? I thought it was his son.
His son's the one that's in the minors that was the number 1 pick a
So
year or
his
two
nephew.
ago.
So it's his nephew. Whatever. Same friggin' blood. Who cares? What I'm going to say here with the New York Yankees is I don't think starting pitching is the problem for the Yankees. I don't, because you're going to get Clark Schmidt back. I think he's a great addition. And by the way, the Yankees just got a triple. Was it a triple? I think it was a triple. And now it's an out right over here. 1 out. Extra innings. No, I'm sorry. There's a guy at third with 1 out.
The extra runner.
Yes,
That's
the
not
extra.
third.
I'm sorry. Yes, they start. This is terrible rule.
Yeah. Great ghost runner.
Yes, wonderful. Is that Chisholm on the third base? It looks
I
like it.
couldn't tell.
Looks like he's chizzing with the jizz. I'm sorry. Anyways, here's the thing. Keith McPherson should not be speaking about anybody. What does he know about the Yankees? Yes, he's a Yankee guy. Yes, he follows the Yankees. Yes, he's on WFEN. But the answers right now to the Yankees isn't Gleyber Torres making mistakes or their infield making as many mistakes as they have. It's the problem is that they're not getting any depth in the middle of their lineup. That's the problem right now with the New York Yankees. Giancarlo Stanton coming back is a big addition. I mean, obviously, Dominguez coming back is going to be a big addition. Chisholm in the middle of that lineup, you can move him inside and out of that lineup. That is a big addition. This offense should be one of the elite offenses in the league. All season long it was. In the last 3 or 4 weeks, it hasn't been. The Yankees need that offense. They need to put up 5 to 6 runs if this team is going to stand a chance against any of these top dog teams like Philadelphia, one of the better teams in the National League, like the Dodgers, like the Baltimore Orioles. They need that type of offense if they expect to win. So I understand why the Yankees made that move for Jazz Chisholm and giving up their third best prospect. I understand why Gleyber Torres believes he can still be a second baseman on this team. Gleyber, I don't think, has hit his stride yet. I think he'll figure things out. I really do think Gleyber Torres has not had a good season. This is his final season as a New York Yankee. I don't believe the Yankees are going to bring him back. He wants to make a lot of money. He's losing money right now. So I expect him to have a burst. I expect him in the last month and a half to really put up the numbers. And I think the Yankees don't want to give him a thought where they give up on him. If you give up on one of your better players and one of the players, this could be, nope, caught. There it is. The game's going to be over now. Volpe almost. It was on the warning track. Honestly, right now, the Garrett Cole thing is alarming. But is it? I mean, if Carlos Rodon actually pitches well in the second half of the season, it's not that big of a loss if Garrett Cole gets sit or he has to sit a couple of starts. Clark Schmidt is, a couple of weeks away for coming back. He pitched very well before he got hurt. He's one of their better young pitchers. And we might see one of their young pitching prospects that could be called up soon, too. I just think that the Yankees right now are still in position to win the division. I think the Yankees are still in position to be one of the top 4 teams in the American League and one of the top 4 teams in the league. I just think that everybody has to point fingers on, well, this is the reason why, or that's the reason why. I don't think there's any rhyme or reason why the Yankees haven't played well in the past month. I think the rhyme or reason is they're just making too many mistakes and not hitting in the middle of the lineup. Soto was one of the hottest hitters in baseball, and then he went on this streak where in 5 games he was hitting he had 2 hits in 5 games. And Aaron Judge, who's been hitting out the hell out of the ball, teams are pitching around him. So if he's not seeing the ball, which I think teams should figure out, hey, you know what? If we don't pitch to Aaron, we have a chance to win. Now Chisholm's hitting the ball, so what are they going to do? I would put Chisholm as their 3rd hitter. I would put Aaron as my 4th, and I'd put Soto behind him. Or do something like that. Protect Aaron Judge in the middle of the lineup if Chisholm's hitting the ball like this. That's where I think, and Giancarlo Stanton hitting 6th. That's where our 5th. That's where I think the Yankees should be looking at right now, making secure in the middle of the lineup. That's where the lineup is going to change the way the Yankees have played in the last month of baseball.
Yeah, it's interesting because the Yankees' relief pitching strategy has been very similar to what it's been in the past. I think they finally, after they had those high-priced relievers, they finally went after some different relievers. I think they tried to stay cheap with that and make sure they prioritize more of that offense. I think Jazz Chisholm's a nice move for that kind of thing. It seemed like inevitable that's going to happen. They always trade with the Yankees, and I think the Marlins, and they had that more selling point where they just dumped everything, like you were saying, Fish, before. Like there might be like purging everything for the second straight year, and the Yankees took advantage of that at a good price too.
Speedy, if there was like a purge, what would you do? What gun would you collect if there was a purge and like one night, 24 hours, you have to protect yourself or get killed? What would you do?
I'm not a gun expert.
But what would you do?
I don't know. I'm not a gun expert.
Would you hide in your closet?
Jeff, you can't call right now. We have a guest coming up in a couple minutes.
No, we have actually a guest that's coming in just a moment.
Right.
Why don't we go to a quick break? But Fish, before we go to a quick break, your thoughts?
Yeah, just quickly, it's kind of tough to understand why Torres won't move over, other than he thinks he's exposed. He's not that good of a defender, and it's going to cost him money.
Leiter Jr. is playing today. He's on the mound.
Maybe he was close by. He didn't have to travel. Yeah. That does happen sometimes. They try to trade with guys that they're playing or like in town. Flaherty, I think, is already in LA, so they traded for him.
That's probably what. Just to point out the finger. You're wrong. You're wrong. No. Oh, I'm sorry. That's just losing myself here. Go ahead quickly.
Yeah, it's just clearly that Gleyber is not a great defensive player. I'll tell you what. Just to finish up, we had a guy that come on last week, a baseball expert, saying that the best hitters should bat leadoff, and I agree with that. Judge has bat leadoff a couple of times. If you put Judge first, Soto second, if Jazz Chisholm's going to hit 2 home runs, hit a home run every game, put him third or fourth. You got a bunch of guys that can fill out that lineup.
I would push.
Doesn't look to be a leadoff hitter.
I would push Judge back in the lineup and protect him. I would move.
Well, it's fewer at bats, though. Get him up there as many times as possible.
I would put Verdugo as my leadoff hitter. I put Volpe as my second hitter. I put Chisholm as my third. Judge as my fourth. Soto as my fifth. Giancarlo as my sixth. That's what I would do.
Analytics guys would disagree on that, though, because that's fewer at bats for the 4, 5, 6 hitters than the 1, 2, 3 hitters, regardless of protection. They just won't get up as much. Yeah. So that's why, like, a guy who bats leadoff gets something like Altuve is going to have like 650 at bats this season, and a guy who bats like fifth is going to be around 550 tops if he plays all the time. So 100 extra at bats, like Judge can hit 70 home runs if he's batting leadoff, and he has Soto behind him. Why not? At this point, who else is good enough to be a leadoff hitter? I don't see anyone on this roster.
Speedy is. He'd be a great leadoff man. I'd just tell Speedy, jump in front of the pitch. Just jump in front of the pitch. Who cares?
Take one for the team.
Get hit. Take one for the team. Just wear cups so you don't get hit in the balls. What do you think, Speedy?
I don't care.
All right. When we come back, he's finally in. We will be talking to former Colts, Cowboys, and Broncos fullback, Mr. Gronkowski, Chris Gronkowski. But first, our Sports Minute with Tommy Scoops.
This is the Sports Loudmouth Sports Minute.
Are you ready to get loud?
With Tommy Scoops.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is almost the top of the hour, which means it is the Loudmouth Sports Minute with me, Tommy Scoops. Jumping over into the NFL, the Rams have revealed QB Matthew Stafford's revised contract details as the veteran QB agreed to $12.5 million signing bonus, $23.5 million guaranteed for the 2024 salary, and a $4 million guaranteed March bonus, and will be giving up his 2025 guarantees. Now shifting over into the MLB Rays are getting final approval for a new $1.4 billion stadium, as the team has always played in Tropicana Field since the team debuted in 1998. Will now have a new venue and is expected to be open for the 2028 season. And lastly, now over in the NBA, Knicks announced that they are re-signing forward big man Precious Achiuwa. The team acquired Achiuwa last season via mid-season trade from the Raptors and is returning to New York on a one-year deal worth $6 million. Jumping over into scoops and scores right now, at the bottom of the 10th in the MLB, the Yankees and Phillies are currently tied at 5 runs, with the Red Sox having a 6-10 lead over the Mariners, with the Rangers and Cardinals. The Cardinals have an 8-1 lead over the Rangers at the bottom of the 6th, with the Braves having a 5-0 lead over the Brewers at the bottom of the 7th. Right now, the Royals and White Sox are both tied at 2 apiece at the top of the 8th, with the Pirates having a 5-2 lead over the Astros right now. Rockies and Angels currently tied at 2 apiece at the bottom of the 1st. Dodgers with a 5-0 lead over the Padres. Diamondbacks have a 2-0 lead over the Nationals at the end of the 1st, with right now the Athletics and Giants having a 0 lead on the board at the bottom of the 1st. That is currently all the time I have for you guys right now. Kicking it back to the boys for their next guest on Sports Loudmouth.
This is the Sports Loudmouth.
Whopper, Speedy. Willie Whopper. 631-672-3108 is the number to call. You can go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. Check out all our shows throughout the week, including The Loudmouth with me and Speedy Petey every single Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. All you have to do to tune in and check out all our local listings for all our shows, go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. Speedy, I don't know what happened with the music.
music just buffered all of a sudden.
Well, that's just you. My producer is out of his damn mind. But this guy's out of his mind too, and I'm out of my mind too. So why not be out of our minds together? We're now talking to former Colts, Cowboys, Broncos fullback, Chris Gronkowski. Gronk, what's up, buddy?
Dude, check out that pick. I'm looking extra thick, man. That's my
You
playing
do.
days right there.
Yeah, you look a lot more thicker than all your brothers, man. I mean, even your father.
255, man. That's playing weight right there. Look at Rob too. He's like 270 there.
Yeah, Rob looks a little too heavy in that picture.
So those were the party days right there.
Oh, he knows how to party. We all know that. I mean, his dance moves are definitely pretty scary. I mean, he's
Learned
got
from my dad, man.
I would love to see him do the Roger Rabbit. Remember the Roger Rabbit?
Dude, that's old. That's way back, man.
The little 80s Roger Rabbit. I could see him doing a Run DMC song, and he's trying to do the Roger Rabbit. Especially him. He lost a lot of weight, by the way. How much weight have he lost?
He's back, man. I mean, he did when he first retired. He dropped probably like 20 pounds, but he's back up to like 260, 265. He's playing weight.
Are you trying to tell us something over here?
Yeah, that's playing weight, man. You never know.
Oh, he's trying to tell us.
Just 40 million 1 year.
Are you going to be a part of that move? Or
I'll be his agent, man. At that price, you get that 3%.
Well, it looks like you're doing pretty well as your businesses are rolling. The last time we spoke, you were talking about your businesses. You've been on a couple of radio shows, a couple of TV shows. Tell us a little bit about the organizations that you're working with.
Yeah, man, for sure. We launched all teams, all leagues, man. So we have all the NFL teams. Rocking the Colts bottle today, right here. Full color NFL license bottle, NCAA, MLB, the whole thing, man. All of them, all the teams, all leagues, NHL, some MLS, and man, it's been good.
Yeah, I was going to ask about your ice shaker company as well that you were mentioning a lot of last time. How's that been going since the last time we had you on the show?
Man, that's it right there. So that's the bottle. It's been good, man. You'll see us pretty much everywhere. I was walking through the airport the other day in Dallas, and I look over and I see my own product chilling on the shelves that I didn't even know was being sold there. So it's just starting to pop up everywhere.
Chris, this is what you have to do. You should have went into that store and said, "Man, these bottles look nice. Where'd you get them from?"
Yeah,
and then they'll look at you. You say, my name is Chris, Gronk, and I want to buy all of them because I own all of them. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. Then you're not going to be making any money, and you're not going to be bringing in any of that money.
Yeah, I'll be losing money if I buy them all.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. We are talking to former Colts, Cowboys, Broncos fullback Chris Gronkowski, the brother, yes, of Mr. Gronk himself, the dancing sensation himself. There's the family right there. All the brothers, all of them had a chance to play in the NFL, pretty much all of them. And your father right over there, right? Your father's in
Papa Gronk, baby.
Papa Gronk. I mean, he's big. I mean, this whole what is it with you? I mean, why are you the baby? Why are you the small one out of all of them?
Man, I don't know. I think it's just lifting too much weight, getting too swole back in the day. And, I consider myself the normal height in the family. My dad's a little bit taller than me. My mom's, 5'6". I don't know why my brothers are 6'7". Just, it doesn't make sense. Like I'm the normal one.
Yeah, you got the bigger balls. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, seriously, you could tell Gronk I said that, by the way. You got the bigger balls. I think you should be on television. You should have like a whole panel. You should have like Fox Sports with the Gronks.
Oh, you know, be great is the four of you roast Rob on a roast like they did with Brady.
Yeah, that was serious, man. That roast was next level. I haven't even watched the whole thing. I got kids now, so I can't, watch that in front of them. But I saw some of the previews, and they went hard. Like, dude, props for Belichick showing up too, man. Because it just made it.
They picked on your brother, man. Oh my God, did they pick on your brother? Every single one of them. Your brother, I think his face turned blue a couple of times. Like he couldn't believe some of the things that were coming out of their mouth. I mean, seriously. And by the way, I love Randy Moss, one of the greatest players to ever play at his position. Man, he was not funny. He was probably the worst when it came to comedy. But anyways,
Dude, I didn't even know he was there.
Oh,
I didn't even see a highlight, so it must have been real bad.
Oh, it was horrible, man. It was horrible. The jokes that he was trying to pull, he was really trying to pull him out of the ass. And if he was trying to pull him out of Speedy's ass, because Speedy, has more jokes coming out of his ass than Randy Moss had coming out of his mouth, right, Speedy?
So
Slap
what's Speedy's nickname? What does it mean, man?
Speedy
I'm not caught up. What's the
So
nickname Speedy from?
the origin story is from 7 years ago when Errol and his former partner at the time, Mikey C, combined it with the fact that I talk fast on the air. That's the Speedy part. And Errol thought at the time, without the facial hair, I looked like the kid from Pete's Dragon.
Come on, man. I got to go watch the 70s. You know Pete's Dragon, man. Come on, look at it.
So that is the origin story of the name, and it's stuck as my radio name since.
Well, Speedy doesn't know how to use his dragon. You know what I mean?
I don't have a dragon. What is this, Game of Thrones now?
Well, if it's Game of Thrones, I have a pretty big dragon.
We'll ask our other fellow fullback friend, Obi Mahaley, on that one. He's the Game of Thrones expert.
Oh, I love Game of Thrones too. I'm watching what is it? House of the Dragons right now. We're going to the finale this coming week. I'm so excited. All these dragons in it. This is the best. It's the best part of the thing when you see all the wars happen and all the fire and the killing. Are you watching House of the Dragon?
Am I?
Yeah.
No, hell no. I watch cartoons over here, and that's about it. And some sports.
Oh, speaking of sports, it's been quite an interesting offseason, and quarterbacks are making a lot of money. I mean, seriously, I'm sure your brother's like, his eyes are popping, and so is yours. I mean, you have Tua Tagovailoa, he's making 50-something million. You have Trevor Lawrence, who's done really nothing so far in the NFL. He's making 55. Joe Burrow is, but he's only been healthy 2 out of the 4 years. I mean, what is going on right now? Why are these quarterbacks making so much money? And by the way, the best quarterback right now in the NFL is making what? He's 16th in the league right now when it comes to contracts. What kind of sense is that?
Man, it's that big money, man. I mean, everyone's scared not to have a quarterback. You got to have a good quarterback to win. But what doesn't? I mean, man, I tell everyone all the time, it's you got to play it like Brady did. If you play it right, you don't take the stupid, ridiculously large contract. You bring talent in around you. You build a legacy instead of lining your pockets with so much money you have nothing to do with it anyway. So I still think like the thing that really took Brady to that next level was the fact that he never got paid what he should have got paid. He never took that $50 million 1 year contract. He was always making good money. You're making 15, 16, 18 million a year, which is plenty, but you still have enough money to build the team around you. So I think that builds a legacy, and I think that's what's hurting a lot of these teams and a lot of quarterbacks now. The money is increasing significantly with all the contracts and all the TV money coming in. So there's definitely room there, but there's still no reason to take 50 mil, man. That's next level.
Chris, Brady's making his money. He just got the biggest media contract in sports history. I mean, he signed a 9-year deal with Fox. He's never spoken on a mic. He's never been in front of a television. And this guy's making $350 million. Do you think Brady's crying right now about the money he lost in the NFL? Come on.
But I mean, he's never cried about it. I'm saying he made all that and he built a legacy because he didn't take the money. He didn't take that big contract that he easily could have that ruins teams. So, I mean, it's going to be hard to build a legacy around a quarterback that's getting paid that much money.
So I want to talk about the quarterback that didn't get paid that probably should have at this point, Dak Prescott. I know you played with the Cowboys a little bit, so you dealt with Jerry Jones and a lot of the ego stuff that he brings. So are you surprised that he hasn't got paid yet? He wants $60 million a year and deserves it after the year he had last year.
Man, Jerry always pays too. So I'm surprised he didn't cough it up. But that was kind of when I got there, at least it was known everyone got paid in Dallas. So I think he's playing a little hardball right now. I think they realize the same thing, though, man. They paid these guys all these years. They paid top players big money, and it never turned into anything. So this could be a way to, maybe bounce back, maybe try to get a quarterback to take a little bit less and get some talent around him.
We're talking right now to former Colts, Cowboys, Broncos fullback Chris Gronkowski. Had a really good NFL career, and now he's doing so many good things right now with his brothers, making some money with all the businesses that he has. He's got a family. He's got kids. He's Papa Bear now. He's daddy on the wheels, if you know what I mean. But Papa Dad over here, what are your thoughts to the Broncos this year? I mean, obviously no more Russell Wilson. He's over there in Pittsburgh making what, $1 million, or he's the quarterback, starting quarterback over there. The Broncos have Bo Nix. They have a whole new team. What do you think this team is going to be this year with Sean Payton under the helm with no quarterback?
That's tough, man. I mean, you have a great leader there, but it takes time. It takes time to get your guys as well, and it takes time to put in and install a whole new system. So I think you're going to be at least a couple years out from having a great squad, especially with a new quarterback and whole new system. So wouldn't expect too much. I would say 500, maybe a little better.
500. That's even better than anybody ever thought. Look at him. He's
every team has talent, man. Everyone's good. It's a matter of having good coaching. And
all right, guys, go to
Bovada.
Bovada.
Yeah, man. How much?
Go to Bovada. Get this QR code, baby. 100% on the first deposit. Guess what? Ladies and gentlemen, if you put $100 down, you get 200, 400, 400, 800. You know what that means, Chris? Open up the pockets, baby. Bet on almost anything like the president election, and you can withdraw from Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin. No limitations on what state you are in. You can bet anywhere. All you have to do is click our QR code over here and win some money.
Maybe we could bet on your pickleball games you were telling us about last time we had you on the show. Maybe we can make that part of our betting.
Speedy loves
Can we get that in, man? Me versus Rob?
Yeah, absolutely. Me and Speedy. No, I don't want to be with Speedy. Speedy is not athletic.
No, you don't need me. You could take another Gronk brother. I'll broadcast.
I'll broadcast. I'm going to take Kurt Warner.
That's right.
Me and Kurt versus the Gronk brothers.
Really? He can play?
Supposedly Kurt has his own pickleball stadium in his backyard. That's what his son told me.
Yeah, we had his son on the show last year when he was a draft prospect, and he's not undrafted with the Buccaneers, and he was saying how Kurt Warner is like the best pickleball player ever.
Yes,
really.
So it has to be like the Gronks versus the pickleball champion, Warner and just the E. I'm athletic. I'm not a pickleball, but I'm good at ping pong, and I was very good at tennis. I was a pretty good tennis player. I think I played pickleball. I mean, what?
So you taking him over Drew Brees? I heard Drew Brees can play.
Yeah, I think Cade was mentioning that too. He mentioned Drew Brees as well.
Who do you say was better?
He still says his father.
Hey, man, I got to see him play now.
We're going to have to reach out to Kurt. Speedy, you're going to have to reach out to Kurt. We're going to have to tell Mr. Warner that we had to fly over there and show Cade and him what we can do on the. Well, you can't do.
I'm not playing. I'll broadcast.
Listen, Chris, he's not an athletic guy. I mean, Speedy,
and especially not with like stick sports and racket sports.
He doesn't like to play with sticks.
I understand that. That makes sense.
Listen, Chris, he loves to play with sausages, right, Speedy?
Oh,
there's no sport that involves playing with sausages unless I'm going to be like some horrible version of Joey Chestnut. I mean, if Netflix is going to, or not Netflix, ESPN is going to try to get something back with that to replace Joey Chestnut after he didn't do the 4th of July. Like, okay, you're not going to bring in me.
We'll call you Speedy Sauce Nuts. What do you think?
That makes no sense.
Salt nuts.
I'm not eating nuts with sauce on them.
Sausages in the world, wouldn't you?
Yes. Thank you. Me flavor. Size doesn't matter. So a sausage is a much tender flavor than if you put sauce on nuts. Maybe you're a Jets fan. You can ask Sauce if he would do that. Have his own nuts. His own line of nuts. Chris, you're a Brandon guy. You think Sauce Gardner could do that kind of thing? He already has his own Wild Wings.
I like the name, man. You call it nut sauce. It's really like a peanut butter or like an almond butter, man. But you call it nut sauce. Yeah, I think it picks up pretty quick. I like that.
Yeah, we'll call it Speed's Nut Sauce.
No, it's Sauce Gardner's promotion, not mine.
Speed's Nut Sauce.
No, I'm not involved. This is Sauce Gardner's
You
promotion.
do all kinds of different flavors, too.
Yes. I mean, Speedy's face. I mean, come on. If you had that on your sausage, you're ready to eat it. I mean, come on. Who wouldn't want to eat that sausage, right?
I'm not licking anyone.
I don't think that would matter. I think if they're enthusiastic about sausages anyway, it's not going to matter whose face is on it. It's different with actually well-developed companies, not ones with my head thrown on them for no reason and have no context whatsoever. Sauce Gardner, on the other hand, that might be a little different.
Oh, man. I told you, Chris. This guy is the money.
You guy's out of control, man. He's trying to put his head everywhere.
No, he's trying to put my head everywhere. He's trying to put my head everywhere. In pickleball matches, I won't be playing in.
Well, listen, if you have an OnlyFans page,
no, I don't.
We can hook you up right over here. Oh, right here.
There it
Follow
is.
Speedy. There it is.
Is that real? Is that what the QR code's for?
That's right.
No, that's what was hacked in the QR code. Clearly, that's what the fake QR code will leave.
Come on,
I'm
Chris.
embracing it.
You don't find him attractive?
Yeah, I like how you have the Men in Black memory eraser that comes with it.
Yeah, I
Is
need
that-
that
that's-
every time
that's
this
free
is
add-on?
brought up.
Men in Black memory eraser.
That's what I need every time this concept is brought up.
So this is a reoccurring concept around here.
Unfortunately, as of like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, it started. It's been taken to a way too much of an extreme. Oh yeah, years ago that was another problem as well.
It was years ago.
This freaking thing that he wanted to do with the Walmart thing.
I do. First of all, I just want to let everybody know that Speedy, we created a very unique, male specimen item that Speedy was signing autographs at Walmart. They're actually undisclosed. There's no more left. I think we made 2,000 of them, right, Speedy?
We had a net loss of 2,000.
Bad business.
Bad business.
Bad joy.
Maybe one of your brothers stole them all, Chris.
I
What'd you
don't know
do
what
with
they
them
were.
most
I'll see if I can find them for you.
What are they going to
be
do?
used? Is that what they use to throw on the field at the Bills game?
Yeah,
One year?
probably. There you go. That's a good theory. We'll accuse all the Bills fans. I like it.
Oh man! By the way, we're talking to former Colts, Cowboys, Broncos fullback Chris Gronkowski. Great personality. He's doing many, many different things now that his career is over from football, but he's still involved in the game. They're doing so many different things, making different cups right now at NFL, and they're selling all over the place. We'll give you all the information before he gets off. Chris, you look at obviously the league as a whole and fullbacks. You were a fullback. There are not many of them right now in the NFL. As a matter of fact, I think there's 2 in the NFL right now. One of them that's always right now in the All-Star Pro Bowl game and he's playing for the 49ers. Why do you think there's no fullbacks in the NFL anymore?
Man, it's just you could easily replace him with a tight end, or a lot of times they'll use D tackles now, D ends to kind of fill that spot. So it's a roster game. You want to have the best guys out there that can do multiple things. So if you could easily replace a spot that's only getting 10, 15 snaps a game with someone that can do a decent job at it, they're going to do it. And as a fullback too, man, like you got to play everything. When I played, you got to play all 4 special teams, and that's also disappearing faster and faster every year. So, special teams have a guy that's really good at it. It's not going to exist much longer. The Patriots always had a player that would only play special teams. I don't know how long something like that's going to last now with the rules continuing to change. I just saw they're not even doing onside kicks anymore. Like you gotta
ridiculous.
even do a surprise onside, which like to me that's crazy, man. Like if guys are cheating, back, you should have the opportunity to sneak one in there and take a chance and take a risk and make the game fun. So I don't really understand why an onside kick would be taken out of the game because that's not a play where you're running 50 yards downfield and absolutely lighting a guy up. But I guess they think there's an opportunity for injuries there because you're opened up when you're trying to get that ball. But that still should be allowed in the game, especially a surprise on kick where you're just kind of hitting it up the middle.
Did we lose him? Did he freeze? No, he's fine.
Back in action.
Right there you are.
Yeah, you froze for a bit.
Damn, man. I was getting all heated over here about the damn onsides.
Don't worry about it, Chris, because Speedy created a new kick. It's called the Cooch Kick.
I didn't.
It's the Cooch Kick. Have you ever heard of it?
No, is this for the game?
Oh, this is
for Saturday nights.
So Errol likes to selectively hear things. I said the word Cooch Kick with a P.
He said Cooch.
No.
How do you use this kick and when?
Wait, that's what I'm wondering. How do you use this kick? Okay, so
a pooch kick.
Okay, there it is.
Is a hybrid of a squib kick and a regular kick. The other one, I don't know what he's talking about. That's a whole made-up thing. Maybe they invented it in some rogue football league.
Football league.
With all the maybe where all the bad kickers come together and try to create these new kicks to try to save their careers. I don't know.
That was pretty good form right there that you just saw in the video.
Could you imagine this kid kick a field goal? Could you imagine him on the field? It's looking at the field goal.
Is this something? Can we bet on this?
I don't think he can kick
It's
it.
very easy. It's just take the under.
Yeah, but I mean the odds are what? Minus 1,000?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Or plus 1,000?
I don't know. I think he has a better chance than your brother does.
There's a difference. Anyone could use
over
use
2,
editing
man.
to make a kick go in.
Over 2 with the cameras on.
Oh
That
my
was-
God.
That was solid.
Your brother is one of those, those personalities. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the tight end thing. I mean, if you watch Netflix, the wide receiving thing, you have George Kittle, very interesting personality. Travis Kelce, a very interesting personality. Your brother, a very interesting. What is it with these tight ends? What do they like? Have nothing else better to do than crack jokes and do stupid things?
Yo, I mean, that's what you do. That's what I mean. That position, you got to be kind of crazy because you got to do it all. You got to block a D tackle, on a crack block, put your head in there and get absolutely smoked, and then you got to run 60 yards down the field and try to catch it up the middle. So, yeah, I think they are, man. I think they're a little crazy because they gotta take shots and run down the field looking over their shoulder, get lit up again, and just keep fighting.
Speedy always looks over the shoulders, Chris. He every time he goes to the car, he's always looking over his shoulder. For some reason, he thinks somebody's going to jump out of the bushes and tackle him or something. Is that
Yeah, he's talking shit all the time on the podcast. I mean,
Slap that ass.
I understand why he's scared.
Yes, I have targeted forces apparently. In his
By
logic.
the way, there's a new movie coming out. You want to see it?
Is this the power of the cooch?
There
kick?
it is.
Oh,
There it
the
is.
glory hole.
Yeah, and we're back to showing that.
I want you to slide it right in.
Yeah,
Oh
sure.
man. Was that your recording?
No, that was a something that was just made about an hour ago to supplement what I did in allegedly the Mets dugout,
Slap that ass. Spank it. Spank
which
it.
is far from the truth. Maybe we should show
Is this
Christy.
appropriate story for on air or no?
No, it basically adds there.
In the-
What we
in the
what we
Mets-
should
Mets
show
dugout?
is, yeah, it's one that doesn't really exist after that. They claim I'm hiding in the wall, but what we should show them is the old story of a guy named Mike Doris Day.
Well, first of all, I just want to let everybody know something. We had a guy named Ryan. Ryan Spader. Ryan Spader on last week. So I told everybody I am not coming on the show as Errol Marks. I'm coming on as Mike Doris Day. So we had Ryan Bader on, and Ryan's sitting over there, and I'm doing the introductions, and I'm like, "This is the first time I'm interviewing Ryan. My name is Mike Doris Day," and Speedy Petey. He looks at me and he says, "I don't know what's going on here." And I'm interviewing him, and we're going back and forth. And he's like, "What is this with Mike Doris Day?" He's like, "You have the most unique voice on sports radio." Look at that.
Look at that
It's good
iconic
for both.
poster, Chris.
Good for me and good for you.
He lost himself. He's like, "What the hell? What show am I on?" I mean, like, he says, "I've been on MLB Network. I've been on every single show." He's like, "You have one of the most unique voices I've ever heard on sports radio." And he says, "The fact that you're telling me you're Mike Doris Day," I was like, "What are you like? What do you like? There's something wrong with." What did he say? I have a switch personality or something like that. He said it was pretty funny. And
No, he was in shock.
well, Speedy's
He
always
didn't
in
know what the
shock.
loudmouth was all about.
Well, actually, he does. That's why he loves coming on the show.
Yeah, he's actually been on 4 times. So
Yeah.
this is,
Oh, okay.
that was the first time. It's the first
That
time
was-
you had a great radio voice. Who are you?
Yeah, you know what's crazy, Chris, is people when they come on our show, they tell us, "Oh, 15 minutes. That's all we got. We got 15 minutes to come on the show." By the time we can't even get him off the show. Jabba Chamberlain was on our show a couple of months ago, like almost a year ago. It was like
Yeah,
a 70
Jabba's a
months.
man.
Yeah, and Jabba came on the show, dude. He was smoking, he was drinking on the show, and he's telling us that's 15 minutes. Dude, this guy took over the show. He was on for an hour and 20. It was
Yo,
hilarious.
did he have his hat on?
Oh yeah. Oh
Which
yes.
which one? Which hat?
Dude, he had the biggest beard. He looked like he was Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did he have the hat though? The show me your butthole hat?
Oh no.
Was he rocking it? No.
That would have been a nice hat, by the way.
It would have been good for the show.
I want to get one of those hats. Where do I get one of those hats?
You got to
Show
ask
me.
him. I don't know where he got it from. He usually wears it on air.
Oh,
He'll put it backwards, and then he'll turn it around when he's ready.
I think he was wearing a backwards hat when we had him on.
I
I don't remember what it said though.
Speedy, would you show me your butthole?
No, definitely not.
I mean, Chris,
Slap that ass.
I definitely.
What if Jabba asked you?
I wouldn't show anyone my butthole.
What if he had the hat on though, and it just said it?
It doesn't have to go that way. There's gladly other volunteers. There's enough weird Yankee fans that might do that.
Look, shave the ass, Speedy. Shave the ass.
Chris, let me tell you something. The thing with Speedy is he doesn't shave over there, so I don't even think you'll be able to see.
I wouldn't do it if I did.
It's like the Amazon.
Speedy's out of control, man.
Chris, I wouldn't do it even if I did. So don't even get any ideas.
I mean, where'd you get this guy from?
The real question is, where do you experiment what goes on in his brain? Because he comes up with all the ideas. I'm not the contextual one.
Contextual one. Wow, he's using all these magnificent words. Man, Speedy, you are a vocabulary.
Speedy's on one.
And you make up words like that type of kick you were just describing.
What, the cooch kick?
Yeah.
It wasn't.
You make up words.
That's a real kick.
Yeah, in some rogue football league.
Well, it could be in other leagues too. But just not the leagues that you would be thinking about.
Well, I'm not thinking about any of those leagues anyway. So find somebody else. Find somebody else to judge that sample.
Oh, anyways, we are talking to former Colts, Cowboys, Broncos fullback Chris Gronkowski. I know you're a very busy guy, so I don't want to keep you on too long. We really appreciate all the time that you give us always. But why don't you tell the fans a little bit more about how they can find all of your different products and what you've been doing over the last couple of years?
Yeah, man, for sure. Iceshaker.com, baby. All the NFL, all teams, all leagues, really is what it comes down to. But for me, man, it's been, I'm just coaching now. A lot of kids, sports at this point. Got 4 kids now, so it's been good, man. But time flies. Time flies once you have kids. So, do you guys have kids yet?
No, not me yet. I know. Everybody's asking me, you're getting up there in age. When are you going to be spitting them out? And I said, I'm not quite ready. We're waiting right now. We got to get this show where we want it to be, and then when it is, I'll start pouring them out. Like Mike Francesa did. At the age of 48. I'm just kidding, not 48. I'll be too old for me. But in a couple of years, man. I know it's very rewarding. It's great. Everybody tells me it's something that you'll never experience until you do it.
Yeah. Just no more cooch kicks after that.
Oh, yeah. Well, Speedy knows all about those.
No, I don't.
Kicks. Speedy, listen, if you had 3 women and you had a chance to cooch kick them, who would it be?
I don't know. I wouldn't kick any woman.
3 women.
I would not kick any woman.
Just give me 3 women.
I'm not kicking any women.
But it's a cooch kick.
I don't care what it is. I'm not putting forceful pressure with my foot towards a woman.
Man, Chris, this guy's a star. Okay, I'm just letting you know that this man is a star. He's gonna go when he get his face when after the show. He's very, very quiet. Doesn't say anything. I do so many things to him before the show. I try to get under his skin, and this guy just sits here and takes it. It's one of the funniest things you'll ever see. So, but anyways, keep up the good work, man. We'll get you on the show very, very soon. You're fantastic. And say hello to your brothers and say hello to the fam. And again, we'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate it, guys. Speedy, you're the man.
You are the man.
Thank you.
Chris Gronkowski said Speedy's the man. Look at that.
Man,
That's a great seal of approval. I will take it, Chris.
Well, it's definitely a seal, especially the cooch kick.
No, that is not.
He's a creator, man.
Do a cooch kick.
He's a creator of greatness.
Yeah, he is. He's a creator of greatness. Cooch kick.
See, Chris, wouldn't it be better if a seal did that kick instead?
Man, I think I saw that in the lingerie football league, actually.
That's good. Speedy, would you be the referee in the lingerie?
No.
Why?
I'm not involved in any of that.
Why? You don't want to see women running around with lingerie?
No.
How about men?
No.
It's good for both.
It is
it's
good
not.
for both.
Oh, man. All right, fellas.
See you later.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Have a good night.
Chris Gronkowski, fantastic. We don't need Speedy After Dark. That was enough. Speedy. You like that?
Yeah. It was quite an interesting spiel.
We could bring fish in. You could bring fish in.
It was quite an interesting spiel involving
You could bring
seals,
scoops in.
everything else. Pooch kicks, whatever the other kick was that I don't even remember. I'm going to use my selective amnesia against you now.
No, it's not pooch. It's cooch.
Yeah, I'm going to use selective amnesia against you now.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
So what was the word? That was that specific word you gave us today? That wonderful word that you gave us?
I didn't give any wonderful
Yes, you
words.
did.
You said a wonderful word.
No, I said a wonderful quote. Cooch kick.
Yeah.
And
That
you
was the word.
And you're becoming a star because people are going to use that. They're not
No,
going to
they're
use
not.
onside kicks. They're going to be saying, "Coach kick, coach kick," and you see the coach on the sidelines, ready, pulling out the cooch.
And all those coaches would be fired.
If you need a voice, oh, look at that. Dan says I could call in if you need a voice.
Please do. I need a distraction.
Dan Radzicki. I mean,
Come on,
This is my
Dan.
buddy right here.
Come on, Dan. You know you want to call in and distract Errol from all this other nonsense.
Well, I mean, what's scary about the cooch kick?
Everything that you brought up.
Willie Whoppers, Speedy! Willie Whoppers!
Oh, Speedy. I'm a little out there tonight. Look at that. Speedy puts up the number. He really wants Dan Radzicki.
Dan calls. Please, you could distract him and go on to your classic. What are
I'm
your
not ready for this rant.
in-depth
okay? I'm not
thoughts,
ready.
Dan? We need it.
Oh,
I'm very ready for this rant. I haven't
Yeah,
worked
come
with
on,
Dan,
Dan.
in
You know
a
you want to.
handful of months. Dan is the man.
Dan is
Call
the
in,
man.
buddy.
Speedy is the can, right?
I am not a can.
Could you fit your head in a can?
No,
How do you know?
a can is small,
Well, there's all different kinds of cans.
and on my head, none of them can fit my head.
Then you haven't seen those big tomato cans, have you?
A human head's not gonna fit in there.
Don't quote me, but I think I could get your head in there.
Don't. I am not a guinea pig for that theory whatsoever.
Oh, well, somebody's got to be a guinea pig. Right?
Okay, find that person if they want to be like super daring with themselves and say that.
I'm
Oh, but it's
daring.
okay, then find the companion of you that would
Could you
stick their
imagine
head in a tomato can.
Let me ask you a question. If there was two of me, what would you do?
I would try to decipher which one to use the fake one.
What would give it away, Speedy?
What would give it away?
That is a good question. What would be the ultimate tell of which one?
You know me just as much as anybody.
What would be the first ultimate tell? Okay. I guess it would be the fake Errol agreeing or giving positive thoughts of something that Jeff says.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't think that's ever happening.
I don't think it'll ever
I think
happen.
the fake one could slip up on that without context.
Bizarro Errol
right, hold on,
would,
scoop-
would
scoop
like Jeff.
I just have no. It's actually more of a question. So, after you found out that it's the fake one, would you just try out the fake one? Be like, hey, let me try out this Errol. Let me let him host the show. Or are you just gonna?
Well, that's Mike Doris Day. You tried that one time.
Yeah, Mike's a good guy. Mike's a good looking guy too, right, Speedy?
Mike Doris Day?
Yeah.
He was pretty good looking.
Yeah. Would you sleep with him?
No.
Can we move on, Jeff? That's awesome.
Yes, that was our best. That was our best graphic of last week.
There were some good ones. We had a good time last night.
Today, and then it's a big drop off after that.
So what was your favorite song at that concert?
Okay, so the best one of
Speedy likes to run Train.
The best one of Train from the live performance standpoint was actually their second song, and it was because they used they actually did great at doing like getting the fans involved with their cell phones. It's If It's Love, which was off the San Francisco.
Could you sing it for us?
I probably could. They also they actually had a promotional thing. They were showing a lot of the live cams on the screen. It was really cool the way they got the fans involved with that. And I think that from that perspective, it was a really cool live performance, the way they interacted with everything. The graphics are really cool as it was. All their albums have like they take the theme with the postcards on it, the San Francisco suitcases. Like the way they did it was really good though, and they implemented it well.
Did they ever give you the underground song Balls of Jupiter?
No.
They didn't sing that for you?
They did not sing anything called Balls of Jupiter.
I have zero
Speedy, how does that song go? The Drops of Jupiter song.
Tell me, would you sail across the sun? Would you make it to the Milky Way to see the lights all faded? And that heaven is overrated.
Squeeze them.
You must have
Wanna
no,
squeeze
there's
them
no squeeze in
along
it.
With the Milky's ways are done.
There's no squeeze in it. Nice try though. Don't worry, Fish. I got the actual part of the lyrics in. Errol got the version that they would never play in front
I
of all
sing
those
that
people.
to all the cows.
Okay, you go sing it to a bunch of cows and see how much that'll do compared to other concerts.
Well, that'll be a good
All right,
song.
Danny should be calling you. He was on the Sports Loudmouth feed, so he can
Yes,
see the number.
Thank you, Dan. All right, Danny. There we have you.
Am I on?
Yes, you are on.
Awesome. Boom. What's going on, guys?
What's up, man?
All this negativity, I gotta say that just when did this happen?
Negativity. There's no negativity.
Negativity. That's a good way to describe it, Dan. Errol's trying to ruin a perfectly good train hit from 2001 with squeezing balls. Put it into it.
Listen, like the Yankees, they just pulled this game out, right? Like they hit the ball in the hole, the glory hole.
The glory hole.
They pulled the game out. Like, I don't get the negativity. And also, obviously, I'm calling in because it's the trade deadline, and to do a quick recap with you guys on that, just super quick, is any Mets fan that started how this year started off, and then say, well, they didn't get a superstar pitcher at the deadline. You're full of crap.
They weren't
because. Yeah, but also, like, in April and May, all you heard from Mets fans was, it's the worst team ever, fire Stearns. And now in July, they're like, we're in playoff range with a team that's kind of sort of doing their own quiet rebuild, who acquired 3 players, which I think, do all 3 have control past the season?
No, a lot of them are on 1-year deals. Martinez is on a 1-year deal. Severino.
No, I'm saying like the guys I got today, right? The starter from Oakland, he's got.
No, he's gonna be. They have to sign him. They have to sign him because.
No, the Oakland starter, I'm pretty sure has control for next year. The Tampa Bay guy, I'm not sure, but the guy from Florida has like 3 years left to control.
Yeah, he's controlled. I'm not sure about Maton because he's bumped around him. He's bumped around from the Astros to the Rays. I'm not sure on him, but yeah, Blackburn. It's going to be interesting to see which side of him you're going to get because the Mets.
Yeah,
the Mets. They got him at a point where he was colder, so they didn't have to trade as much to get him because he was hot in the beginning of the season more than he was recently. I think he had one good start recently against the Angels or something like that, but I mean, it's the Angels. Like, I'm really going to trust that to mean something. But I always liked his stuff, though. I always thought he flew under the radar with Oakland. Really, he broke out when Oakland started their downfall after that 2021 season. They should have made the playoffs.
Yeah, but
he signed for this year, Dan.
Stearns has a plan for this team, and it's not just throw money at everybody. It's finding pieces, finding control. Also, what did the Mets give up to get those 3 pitchers?
Nothing.
Like me and you and Errol. Like that's what got traded. It's 3 guys who, if they ever make the pros, will be amazing. One guy's like 30 already in the minor leagues, so that's not going to happen. Yeah, like that's a very positive trade deadline. The Yankees went out and got a guy that can give them quality out of the bullpen. They got a guy named Jism, which I find strange, but like both New York teams did a fine job at the deadline. The Mets are not going to win the World Series. Yeah, the Yankees probably aren't either, but they got pieces that they can use to then get there next year.
And Dan, it's also like, I think with the new playoff strategy, with the success we've seen a lot of these wild card teams too. I don't think you're seeing teams like over push because of that kind of thing either. When they see, all right, maybe we could take advantage of what the Phillies did 2 years ago, what Arizona did last year, if just being a young team and staying young, because most of the teams that are doing well, probably besides the Dodgers, are mostly younger teams now. Like the Orioles they're the blueprint now. Like everyone's going to try to build like them from now on. And even in the National League, where you're seeing, like I was saying, the Diamondbacks the way they built last year, and now the Mets are trying it. They have 6 prospects in the top 100 from the trades they made as sellers. So they're going in that direction. And then we'll see if Steve Cohen tries to spend the other way, and David Stearns will be there to keep the balance between that, so they don't give $43 million a year to Max Scherzer.
Now, here's the one thing I do have. Like, if I'm going to be negative about anything, the Mets pitching coach, everyone, Jeremy Hefner, right? Everyone likes Jeremy Hefner.
I'm okay. I'm different on him. I think he's okay.
Is he related to Hugh Hefner? Because if he is, he's my type of guy.
So that he might be. It's not impossible.
Well, he hangs. I heard he hangs out in the bullpen with Speedy's glory hole. Is that true?
Wow, and he does love putting his hands on balls.
Yes, he
so
does.
I mean, that's
what happens when you pitch.
those are two things.
What did you say, Speedy?
That's what happens when you pitch. It would be hard to pitch.
Someone has to catch.
What do you think, Dad? Do you think it would be hard to pitch and put your hand on a baseball?
Well, that's also if you pitch, one, you need a catcher, but two, do you avoid the bat or do you make contact?
Well, the catcher doesn't have to put his hand on the ball because he has a glove. But if you're a pitcher, it's got to be pretty hard to pitch without putting your hand on the ball.
Literal stuff.
Yeah, I say something super literal, and he thinks it's the funniest thing ever.
Look at that graphic.
But the glory hole graphic is fantastic. That's a fish creation if I ever saw one.
I told you I don't like sticky stuff on my baseballs.
No, that's only Max Scherzer.
I can't even see because I'm the stupid phone. But like people go Hefner, and I'm like, yeah, Severino's having a bounce back year clearly, and Manaea is hit or miss. But then I'm looking at Atlanta, and Atlanta pulled Chris Sale off the scrap heap, and might win the Cy Young this year. And the guy that pitched the other day against the Mets, he's been a career journeyman, who's got like a 1 ERA, or 100 batting average against him, running score. I'm like, yo, how come no one talks about the Braves pitching coach? Because they might even know. I had to look up Rick Franitz. I'm like, this guy takes shit off the scrap heap and turns him into Spencer Strider, right? And who's hurt this year? But who is Spencer Strider? And next thing you know, he's unhittable, right? The Braves keep doing this with pitching coaches. And the Mets are like, oh, we have a good coach. I'm like, who was the Mets pitching coach ever made actually better?
No.
Severino was good before he met the Mets.
The guy I actually give more credit for that is actually Alvarez more than it is Hefner.
Yeah, it's the Mets like, oh, Hefner, he's young. He knows the game. I'm like, how come no one gets better? We saw Scherzer get worse. Yeah. We've seen Tyler Mealy get worse every year. And not even figured out, don't let him pitch more than 2 innings. He's not a good pitching coach.
No.
And it's weird that they would keep him in that position when they've gotten rid of managers, they've gotten rid of bench coaches, get rid of positional coaches. But somehow this guy, he's like, I gave him a new grip on a curveball, and he just loves gripping balls.
Speedy loves that, gripping balls, right, Speedy?
Every pitcher has to grip the ball.
Put some spin
Grip it
on
and rip it, man.
Grip it and rip it, Speedy?
Grab it tight, grab it loose, throw some knuckles on it, whatever.
Put some
knuckles. Nah, nobody throws knuckleballs anymore, Daddy. Come on.
And that's a problem. Someone should.
I'm about to dispute that.
Speedy, would you spit on your balls?
No, that's illegal in baseball too.
Would you do it?
No.
Why wouldn't you spit on your balls?
Well, would you wipe your sweat and rosin on balls?
No, I don't know. I don't think I'll get away with it if Edwin Diaz didn't get away with it. Maybe ask Michael Pineda. He might be the expert in that department.
Now, do you use a split finger grip, or would you go with 4 seams?
I don't know. I'm always in favor.
I think he goes with the 4-seamer.
Dad, I'm always in favor of the great tertiary pitches that nobody uses anymore.
The what? The tertiary?
Tertiary. Yeah, that's the after secondary. I always thought that Speedy is a circle change type of guy.
I think he's a circle change. Yeah. He likes the circle change.
Which is another one that's not thrown as much anymore.
Would you throw it?
I can't throw that.
But maybe you could.
I doubt it.
Well, let's try it, okay?
I've tried it before. Yohan Santana was one of my favorite pitchers, and he specialized in the circle change. And I tried to duplicate it. It went horribly wrong. It's called,
Got very messy.
It's called Little League, blooper reels. It would equivalent to that. How bad out of the strike zone it was. And it didn't even reach.
Way outside.
Yeah, it didn't even reach.
So you didn't hit your target?
No. Like I bet you before when Gronk was on, I was not that good of a Little League player. You wouldn't throw me into this pickleball tournament that you wanted to do.
Pickleball?
Yeah, he loves pickles.
Chris Gronkowski is a huge pickleball guy and dueling against his brothers. And Errol tried to throw me in the scenario. I'm like, no, I'll just broadcast.
Yeah, Speedy loves his pickles.
That's fine. It's a different thing than pickleball.
Well, pickleball.
Pickleballs. Yeah, I think
Yep.
pickle and dingleberries.
balls.
How about that? Pickle and dingleberries?
Dan seems to be laughing at. Maybe you can have him try it.
Errol's got me giggling now. It's catchy.
Embrace
the
pickle.
Dan embraces the pickle.
I don't want to embrace the pickle. I would much rather have someone. I mean, if I had to be in a spot of pitcher or catcher, I'd rather be the pitcher, I guess. But,
Yeah,
of course.
But I'll defer to PD on that.
Of course.
You would be the pitcher.
Anyone would want to be the pitcher, not have to go to the wear and tear on their body. The catcher does.
Some people like that kind of pain.
I don't think anyone really likes that kind of pain. They just embrace it, and they get used to it after a while because you're.
Well, the wear on the knees, right? It wears your knees down.
Yes.
Well, as Chubbs once said, it's all in the hips.
Is it all in hip, Speedy?
I'm not the expert on catching. Next time we get our friend Michael McHenry on the show, we can ask him about that.
Wow. He had Chris friggin' crying. I mean, seriously, he couldn't stop laughing. I think he has everybody laughing. He doesn't even realize how funny he is. Oh man. Anyways,
it's a skill.
It is a skill.
But yeah, I'm feeling that if you're just getting back to the theme that before we got to the other theme, like if you're a Yankees fan, you should be happy with the deadline. The Yankees made obvious steps to improve the team right now,
Yes.
and you're right. The American League East is winnable. And the Yankees are a team that might even be able to cover. I don't think they're a World Series team, unless Rodon suddenly, finds 3 year ago Rodon or whatever. And Cole's that whole my body is hurt because I'm pitching. That doesn't end well for the season. It's like a week off is going to make him better. That's bad news. But for the Yankees though, they've got a good shot at taking a round into the playoffs. If the Mets end up in the playoffs this year, from where they started to where they finish, there's no complaint from any Mets fan that's possible.
No, this was supposed to be the year of transition, and the next year is supposed to be, we're going to spend all this money next year. And
the only complaint that would have is the Mets probably should have traded Pete Alonso.
You think so? I mean, the value. Absolutely, you think the value would have been that high, though? It doesn't seem like it was for the first base market. Nobody got traded.
Yeah,
except for Josh Bell, I think was the only one.
Alonso could have fetched you from either Houston or Chicago like 2 weeks ago. 2 top 5 prospects and a field player.
Okay.
And now, we're going to see he's going to demand $30 million a year for a guy that is worth half that. And he shows he has no clutch in him. In a contract year, how many times have we all seen a player in the contract year put up numbers like they've never put up before, only to regress instantly after the contract signed, right? Alonso, just like the playoffs, doesn't hit. And like in his contract year, he's not hitting. Lindor batting leadoff has more home runs than Pete Alonso.
So why would you trade him on less value then, if that's the case?
Because now you're going to have to offer him more money than he's worth, pay tax on that because the Mets are in that spot now. You trade him for 2, and again, prospects are not guaranteed. People go, oh, it's the 4th best prospect in the system. Yeah, I remember last year when the Mets traded Scherzer to Texas for the other Acuna that doesn't play well, is not in the major leagues, doesn't hit yet.
He wasn't supposed to be.
But he'll turn one day.
He'll be up next year. I don't think he was expected to be up this year.
He's hitting 270 in the minors.
Okay, and I think also sometimes
he's hitting 300 in the majors, which is just no, it gets harder when you.
Nobody said he was going to hit 300 in the majors. We don't even think. No Mets fan believes he's actually going to be his brother.
How is a top prospect the guy that can't hit 300 in the minors?
Actually, Josh thinks he's going to be better, just as good as his brother. So.
Not everybody hits 300. And batting averages have been dipping a lot in recent years. They're more focused on base percentage because of the home run centric game that's come. You need more walks. If Acuna could do that, that's where you're going to pay attention to it more. As long as he doesn't hit 210, he'll be fine.
Anyways, Danny, thank you for calling. We got to go, buddy.
Always a pleasure, sir.
We love you, man.
Great to hear from you, man.
Fish says it's good to hear from you.
I'll talk to finish it off the air.
There he goes. Danny Rizicki, Mr. Boom. We call him Danny Radical. He's radical, all right.
He's
Speedy.
radical.
Yeah.
He's radical.
So you're a catcher.
What?
You're a catcher or the pitcher?
Where did you get that out of that entire conversation? Maybe the fake
maybe
card-
PD, you can be like what Giselle always hoped, and you could throw it and catch it.
You see
99% of the world would too.
And listen, her name is Giselle.
Okay, have her go date your new second baseman / third baseman. Yeah,
Played center field first game too.
Okay, there you go.
There you go. You could share the jizz.
Not me.
Oh, not you.
Spread it around.
Your new trade deadline acquisition and this new girlfriend he's gonna have.
Giselle.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Jism.
Yeah, okay. You can do that with him.
Your
and-
firstborn son will be named Jism.
Not me.
Jism.
Not me.
Kloiber.
Not me.
I like that.
Not me.
Jism.
Not
Kloiber.
me.
Could I name him? Jism?
No, you were not involved in any of that, first of all. Second of all, we're referring to Jazz Chisholm's hypothetical girlfriend in this scenario being called Jizz.
Jazz and Jizz, like Jack and Jill.
There you go. Perfect. See, Fish gets it.
You want some Oreos, milk, and Jism.
Fish, you win voice of reason.
So if Jack and Jill fetch a pail of water, what do Jazz and Jizz fetch a pail of?
I guess it would have to be for literary sake. Maybe
Sausages?
No. So how about this? So that would be walrus. Water. Walrus.
Hold on 1 second.
They fetch a pail of walrus?
Walrus saliva.
What?
Walrus saliva?
What the hell is
Or
that?
blood. We can go for blood too. That works too.
You want to kill a walrus?
Blood.
Me, Jazz and Jizz.
So
Jazz
there's
and
a lot
Jizz.
to unpack. There's a lot.
A walrus blood.
Here's the other idea.
Oh God.
There's the other idea.
Here we
Fish.
go.
You'll appreciate this one as a Giant
Oh, I
fan.
can't
Maybe
wait.
they could go Water to Waller. They could fetch Darren Waller. They could fetch Darren Waller. Maybe he'll play for the Yankees.
He's a rapper now.
Yeah, he could do their pregame. Or he could do their walk-up songs.
So they get a
Jizz.
Neither.
But you had to choose.
Neither.
You had to choose.
I'm not involved in this process.
Jack
It's
and
Jack,
Jizz.
Jizz, and Darren Waller.
so Jazz and Jizz went up the hill to fetch a pail of Darren Waller tapes.
Yes. Perfect.
Okay.
Jack
Just
and
trying to get
Jizz
that.
went up the hill to catch a pail of Waller.
There you go. Fish, you win voice of reason for tonight. I like it.
Oh man, you're a piece of work, man.
That was years ago.
Oh man, you are one unique individual. There's no doubt about that. Anyways, oh man, what a show! The cooch kick we learned about. Speedy created a
No, I didn't.
new football.
You created a new thing.
You said cooch kick.
You said it.
I didn't say that. You said cooch kick.
No, you said it.
I
You
didn't
just
say that.
heard me say it because you want to hear it.
Well, it's a new onside rule, so I mean, there's got to be new types of kicks. Maybe this is going to be one of them.
Cooch kick.
All right. Well,
Anyways.
when Errol's the next Jets head coach, he can push it on.
I don't know. It could be soon. Anyways,
If there's a
Kevin
team
Moore-
to do it, it would be the Jets.
Yeah, that's true. Hiring somebody out of nowhere. Yeah, that Errol Marks guy. Yeah, let's hire him. MLBbro.com senior writer Kevin Moore. Thank you for joining us. And also thank you to former Colts, Cowboys, Broncos, one of the Gronkowskis. You know his brother Rob, and I know you know Chris. His other two brothers were in the NFL, Chris Gronkowski. Congratulations for all the companies that they're building and what they're endorsing. They're fantastic. They're great faces for the NFL now that they're done with their careers. And thank you to all the fans. Thank you for everybody that's tuned in, all the new fans, all the old fans. Keep listening to us. Obviously, we'll be back on Thursday at 7 o'clock. Jeff, I'm sorry we didn't answer your call, but I'm sure you wanted to call up and try to piss me off, but that's just you. Congratulations to the Yankees winning. Thank you to all of them, and we'll be back on Thursday. Good night.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs?